Hello, everyone, and welcome to an emergency live episode of Hack the Movies. That's right, we're doing 3 episodes this week. This one wasn't planned, but we had to do it because Netflix released a 4-part documentary on this man that we all loved. We all loved and cherished him, and no one loved him more than Vinnie Paulino. And he's shaking his head at all the people who might be doubting his love for Hulk Hogan, but he loves him, don't you, Vinny?
Tony, that's a damn lie. I don't love Hulk Hogan.
I don't know what you're talking about. You did like 2 episodes of your show on Hulk Hogan. You reviewed all of Thunder in Paradise. I thought you were the biggest Hulk Hogan. You're the biggest Hulkamaniac ever.
I ironically enjoy Hulk Hogan when it comes to the insane promos, the terrible acting, the hedonistic lifestyle that he was able to keep hidden for, I don't know, a couple of decades. I mean, I'm intrigued by the guy, but I don't love him.
I don't know what you're talking about. We all loved him. Read that. Loved by all. He was immortal. But we're going to talk.
They shouldn't have billed him as that.
Yeah, kind of backfired a little bit, didn't it? But before we get into that, I just want to say, please sign up for Patreon. We got some great bonus stuff on Patreon. Actually, a long time ago, me and Vinny did a commentary track for WrestleMania 21. That was a wild time. Even if it's at the free tier, you get the free podcast feed, free videos. It has better notifications than YouTube. It's very, very helpful. You can also gift a membership. I'm sure, Vinny, you're thinking of gifting memberships to all your friends, right?
No.
You're the worst. All right. We got some fun bonus episodes on there, like Shriek, if you know what I did last Friday the 13th. This is important. Vinny, I found out today that someone has been selling bootleg Hack the Movies merch online. Which is weird.
So this is how you confront me? You drag me on the show?
Is it you? I didn't think it was you. But the network I was with, they're like, hey, we just want you to know there's like this out there. And I'm like, my merch doesn't sell that well. Who would bootleg my merch? But now I think because someone was bootlegging my merch, I must have been robbed of millions of dollars. So I want everyone to go to the Retroware store and get some Hack the Movies merch. I already put a down payment on a yacht. So I'm expecting the money to be rolling in now that we got rid of those bootleggers. And you can also book me on Cameo. Now, the name of the game is Super Chats. If you want us to read something or answer a question within reason, please leave a Super Chat. Hulk Hogan, Real American. Now, this part 1, The Rise of Hulk Hogan, it starts off, sadly, with footage of his funeral. And we learn that this was being made while he was alive. They took a break in production and then he died. So I think, Vinny, the way this is like this whole documentary is being framed, I feel like this was to like help fix his reputation and try to make him sympathetic. And then it turned into like a memorial tribute thing. How did you feel about that?
It's interesting. It's the opposite of the Vince McMahon doc.
Which I did not watch. Was that good?
Like the Vince McMahon doc started the opposite. It was meant to be like this whole big sweet thing about his career. And then it was like, we got to bury this motherfucker. Now it started off with, everybody was mad at him. Now we got to make him look good.
Yeah.
This movie, I think, was meant to capture the nostalgia of Hulkamania.
Mm-hmm.
And it got so sad by the end of it.
It really did.
It's just a 180 and just makes you really sad. So I don't know what else to say.
Even when you know how kind of like problematic he was, you still feel bad for him. Kind of like me at the Stuttering John live show, where I'm like, this is an awful human being, but he looks so sad right now and he's bombing so horribly. I kind of feel bad for the dude a little bit. Sorry to bring up your enemy.
Well, he's not my enemy. He's not my enemy. He's not suing me. The difference between John and Hulk is it's easier
Vinny, what could possibly be the difference between Hulk Hogan and Stuttering John?
Both prolific when it comes to beer. That's both pathological liars. Uh, the main difference is cleanliness and career.
Oh, okay. um, but yeah,
But
so
John goes back to a hovel. Hulk goes back to a giant mansion in Clearwater.
that
So
was
it's
funny.
easier to.
Skipping ahead, I like when he's like, I couldn't go to either of my houses, so I had to rent a penthouse apartment. I'm like, oh, how unfortunate for you, Hulkster.
And he's like, and then it looks down on my old house.
um, so we open up. It has him working out with his son Nick, who's always been there for him. Now, we'll talk about it at the end. But did you listen to the Bubba the Love Sponge and Brooke Hogan reaction to all of this?
No, I have not listened to their reactions to this.
Apparently, Nick Hogan wasn't always there for him. It was actually Brooke. But we'll get into that later.
Well, Nick wasn't always there for him because of that jail time.
Yeah. But like she was there for like a lot of his surgeries and stuff. And she's upset that they didn't mention all that, but also she decided not to participate in the documentary. So it's like, well, how mad can you be if you decided not to be a part of it? And now you're like, they didn't bring all this up. And like, well, you could have done it if you were there. Anyway, sorry, what was that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something.
I don't know. Were you expecting me to be shocked that Brooke Hogan wanted more attention?
Is she known for that? So yeah, he gets mic'd up. And again, the rise. We get to see young Hulkster, young Hulk Hogan. Growing up, his brother Alan was the favorite of his father. His father who beat him, Vinny. He beat him mercilessly, apparently. So Alan was like the one that he liked. So Hulk Hogan felt like he was always in his shadow. Yeah. We get to meet Lyndon Hogan, who lets us all know that she's the one who introduced Hulk Hogan to tanning beds. And I believe her, Vinny. I believe that. Speaking of Hulk Hogan tanning, I didn't get a screenshot of this. Look, I understand that Hulk Hogan was probably in a thong a lot because he was tanning a lot. I don't think we needed to see the home videos of him rolling around on the ground with his kids while wearing the thong. And if we did, we probably could have trimmed out that part where we just see his ass. That part made me uncomfortable. I was like, why would you include this in the documentary? This is
I was a little floored by that them choosing to keep that in as well.
Yeah, I'm just like, hey, we should probably I get it. It's like he tanned a lot. That was the thing, and I don't know why she was recording. She recorded. Linda Hogan was just recording everything. Apparently,
Well, she was just getting ready for the divorce.
This is planning it for years.
All of it.
Just planning it for years. We learned that he was a bass guitar player, which is actually pretty known about him. I think everyone knows that he was a guitarist. He almost played for Metallica. Did you know that, Vinny?
Oh my God. Nobody in Metallica agrees with that story, by the way. What he claimed was who was the one who left the band?
I don't remember.
Not the one who died, but the one after that who left. And he was like, yeah, I sent in my audition tape. And they were like, man, this is great. But then they were like, oh, it'd be too distracting to have Hulk Hogan in there.
I agree. And you know what? Metallica's probably embarrassed that they didn't hire him. So now they're lying. They're like, oh, no, we never wanted Hulk Hogan. I bet you they wanted him so bad and they were just jealous and now they're embarrassed. But yeah, he played in a band, which if I could go back in time to any moment, Vinny, I think I would want to go back in time and just watch this band play. This looks like the most awesome band ever.
Is that the new lead singer of Foreigner up in the front there?
It could possibly be him. I'm not sure.
That's a whole lot of chest hair.
Yeah.
On the Hulkster, which makes me wonder how long of a job did it take to make him as hairless as he was for the next 50 years after this?
Oh, man, he must have been whacked. Well, at some point, I assume he might have gotten laser hair removal, but I don't know if you could do that for your whole chest.
Yeah. And the laser slipped and it got his head.
Yeah, he went bald pretty early, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he liked wrestling, but he said he was scared of the wrestlers, and then some of them came to his show. And he ended up going to a wrestling show, and according to him, he saw the wrestlers. He was reading their lips and he saw them feeding each other like lines for like what to do next. And he's like, "Oh my god, wrestling's fake, brother." Which I feel like most adults already know.
Which I do believe he was dumb enough not to know. I do buy that.
Now this is funny. He signs up to be a wrestler and gets a little too cocky, and then a wrestler just breaks his fucking leg.
Yeah.
To kind of like keep him in line.
I wish we could do that with comics.
You just want to break their
Do that in
legs.
open mics. Yeah. I wish after an open mic you could just go up and kick him in the knee once, maybe not break their leg. But that was an interesting story because, you know, the knock on Hogan his entire career, folks, I hate to tell you this, for being the greatest wrestler in the world, he didn't know how to wrestle very well.
Yeah. You know what's weird?
What his skill was getting a crowd behind what he was doing.
The weird thing is, if you see his stuff in Japan, it's way better than anything he did in America.
Well,
it's
because when he got to America, there was money behind him and he didn't want to risk it all as much. So in Japan, they'll fuck you up if you don't try.
Yeah. But
those guys will break your legs.
That was just crazy to me. I'm like, wow, yeah, because I watched it like a few years ago. I'm like, wait, he could actually move, and he was pretty fast. And it's a shame we didn't get to see too much of that here. But yeah, there's this whole thing. Like, he was, without a doubt, he is the biggest wrestler of all time. Because people were saying greatest, and it's like, yeah, technically he wasn't the greatest. No. He was great on the mic. Other people, I think, are better on the mic, but it might be because of him. But he was definitely the biggest wrestler of all time. I think The Rock is the biggest person of all time. But when it comes to just wrestling, Hulk Hogan is the very top there.
I feel like for years people have been trying to compare Hulk Hogan and John Cena, and you know, I really don't see the comparison because The Rock is definitely more of the guy who went into movies and was successful.
No.
The Rock has the career that Hogan wanted.
Yes. Or did he want that? We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Oh, please. Yes, he wanted it.
Now, you were talking about chest hair, Vinny. This is the chest hair he rocked for one of his early matches. Vinny,
nice work, Linda.
Can you put rocking this chest hair on the wheel of consequences for the creep off? Is that an option? The loser has to shave their chest.
You know, Carl already had to have his chest waxed once. I don't know if he's going to go for this. And frankly, I don't know if his chest hair ever grew back after that.
Well, this is shaved. It doesn't need to be waxed. Shaving will be fine. I think it looks cool. I might shave my chest hair like this. But yeah, he wrestled as the Super Destroyer.
Yeah,
I love. Cool. Yeah, it is a cool name. I love when early wrestlers are wearing masks. I've had a DVD with like the Undertaker when he was the Punisher or something, and he also had a leather gimp mask. Everyone had like a mask gimmick at some point. Yeah, this. By the way, I love this. People have been pointing out, they're like, my favorite part of the documentary is Jimmy Hart invested very well. Look at the size of that fucking house.
Well, Jimmy has got money because he was a musician too. He was in a band called the Gentrys, and he had a couple of hits, and he wrote songs and shit. He also wrote a lot of the music that WCW used as like ring entrances.
Okay.
So he was just making money off of like royalties, wrestling appearances. He owns a couple of restaurants and bars, I think, down there.
So what you're saying is at some point he was so financially well off that he didn't have to rock that hair anymore. And he insists that he still do it. Okay.
That's a choice.
That is a choice. But he talks about Jerry the King Lawler. Apparently, by the way, I thought Jerry Lawler was going to be in this way more. He's only in for this segment. And it's just him saying, yeah, Hulk Hogan wasn't a very good wrestler, but he looked pretty cool.
You didn't have to make that point too hard to me. I got it. Didn't need to bring that, Alice. But you know, the King looks a little rough. Like he's very plastic surgery up, and like his voice is definitely dropped, and he's like very slow. I can't imagine it was a great interview, and he gave him a lot.
Yeah. He's getting up there. They're all getting up there in years. Then we meet a very young Bret Hart. And he talks about Hulk Hogan's mic skills and everything, and then we see current modern day, very sad Bret Hart, which obviously this was shot before. Actually, no, when it comes to Bret Hart, I don't know if they shot this before or after Hulk Hogan died. There you go. Hold on.
That's the man right there, everybody.
Yeah, so it was funny. He was like, as the documentary goes on, he's actually pretty nice about Hulk Hogan. And then, like, at some point, he goes, "Oh, fuck him." And he's like drinking alcohol and stuff. Man, he is the most bitter man of all time.
I fucking love Bret Hart now.
Yeah.
Did you hear that interview he did a few months ago about Vince after more of the lawsuit stuff came out? And he was like,
No.
"Yeah, I'm pretty sure Vince and Sean were having an affair. You know, I can't prove it." Like, he will say whatever fucked up thing he wants to just because he hates all those people so much and he knows he gets headlines. He's just trolling now, and it's great.
Oh my god. I don't know. I did an episode once with someone, and they mentioned that he doesn't like Bill Goldberg, and I was just like, "Oh, Bret Hart doesn't like Bill Goldberg. Does he talk about it at all?"
I may have heard that once or twice.
So then we learn he's been wrestling in the territories. This is back in the territory days. Then we learned about how he signed up for WWF with Vince McMahon Sr.
Yep.
And they rebrand him as Hulk Hogan, the Incredible Hulk Hogan. And that is funny because it's like an Irish name, and Hulk Hogan goes like, "I'm an Italiano. Why do I have this Irish name?" But it works.
We already got a guinea. We already got San Martino back here. We don't need another one.
Vinny, I'm going to ask you to refrain from using Italian slurs, or you will not be invited back on the show.
Okay.
I know you have a pass, but I don't appreciate it. So yeah, Incredible Hulk Hogan. He was a bad guy. He was a heel. And he gets on the radar of another wonderful Italian man, Sylvester Stallone, who apparently watched him on TV one night and was like, "Got to get that guy in Rocky 3." And then we get the infamous Thunder Lip scene. He left WWF to do this.
He did. And
yeah.
It kind of blows my mind when you think about the mentality of Vince Sr. versus Vince Jr.
Yeah.
Because at this point, Hollywood comes calling. Rocky was a massive movie. Rocky 2 was a huge movie. Now there's going to be the third one. And Vince Sr.'s like, "Nah, I need you to go to Basilton, Pennsylvania this weekend." Or something stupid. And he's like, "No, man, I'm gonna go film a fucking movie." And he leaves and he ends up in the AWA in Minnesota, which, to be honest with me, sounds like a circle of hell living in Minnesota.
But speaking of Minnesota, I think Adam Does Movies was in the chat. Hello, Adam. Me and him will have a commentary track out soon for you guys tomorrow. So yeah, he's Thunder Lips. By the way, at his beach shop in Orlando, they have that statue, and I took my picture with that statue. It's awesome.
Yeah. What a great little store that is.
Yeah, great story. This is a great scene. I love Rocky 3. It's my favorite of the sequels to Rocky. It's just solid. I might be biased because Hulk Hogan's in it. But yeah, he becomes huge and he wrestles God, I'm blanking on his name. Oh my god. Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
And I like this moment because we'll see this again at the WrestleMania 18 thing where like he's technically the bad guy, but everyone starts cheering for him just because they liked him so much. And this is basically the birth of Hulkamania. And I thought that was a cool moment. I don't know how accurate it is. I assume it's Jesse Ventura. Is he known for lying?
Yes, he was a politician. They just needed a place to shove it in. It definitely kind of started in AWA, but towards the tail end of AWA, because they didn't really have Hulkamania in New York yet, but that's really where it kicked off.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of right before he heads out there.
Yeah.
Back to New York.
But yeah, he's making waves. They want Hulk Hogan for president. And then, okay, episode 1 ends. Vinny, all the end credit songs are from Hulk Hogan's wrestling album, his music album that he put out. And the first one is Hulkster in the House. And I'm 36 and I'm shocked that I still remember the lyrics to a lot of these songs.
Did they do Beach Patrol? Was Beach Patrol one of them? Because I didn't watch the credits on any of these.
Oh, I don't remember if they did Beach Patrol. They did American Made, obviously. But yeah, the first one's Hulkster in the House. That one's great. They didn't, Vinny, I was shocked that they didn't do Hulkster in Heaven, and he didn't tell that story about that young boy that he wrestled for who died tragically.
The one who wasn't there.
I don't know what are you saying he lied about a kid with cancer?
He wasn't even on the card at Wembley Stadium, bro. He wasn't even on the card.
Okay, so when he
He wasn't
died,
even, I don't even think he was in the I don't even think he was in the WWF. I think it was during the time he was retired
yeah.
that that all happened.
So when he died,
Lions set to shit.
when he died and we did our Suburban Commando review, I kept bringing up like all the people who were complaining about Hulk Hogan and all the bad stuff he did. It was all just the racism stuff. Like, no, he actually did a lot worse. And at some point, one, I plugged your show. I'm like, if you want to know some of the bad things he did, but at some point I tell that story and my two co-hosts had no idea that happened. I looked at him like, that's an example of one of the really bad things he did. You can't just make up a fake cancer kid to sell a CD. That's really fucked up.
I mean, could you imagine being like, oh man, this is great. The Hulk supported this kid, then listening to that song and being moved? Like, that is the worst song in the history of the world. Jimmy
I was
produced
moved by that album. I cried every time I listened to it.
that album put a wing on Jimmy Hart's house.
It really did.
Hulk Hogan and the Wrestling Boots Band, I think was the name of it.
Yeah,
right?
it was great. The greatest band of all time. My favorite is the I Wanna Be a Hulkamaniac. That's a great one. That's a banger.
No, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Vinny danced to that at his wedding. That was the song he danced to at his wedding. I want to be a Hulkamaniac.
You know, we actually listened to Macho's album at my wedding.
Oh, no, Macho's wasn't as good.
Are you out of your mind? Macho Man has the best album a wrestler's ever put out for anything.
I don't know what you're talking about. Better than Fozzy? Better than all the Fozzy albums?
I'm going to drive to Philadelphia and find you.
Yeah, so part 2 is basically Hulkamania as it was running wild. And it's like first like really big moment was going against the Iron Sheik. Of course, this was during like I love wrestling. I wish wrestling was more topical. This is like when Iran had the had a bunch of like hostages and stuff. So there were I don't know if you know this, Vinny, but there were a lot of tensions between America and Iran at some point. It might happen again at some point.
I remember when Freddie Blassie stopped all the traffic through the Strait of Hormuz.
He did.
It was incredible.
So this was like, we got to see this play out in the wrestling ring. How do we resolve this conflict inside the ring? So yeah, Hulk Hogan, he pins the Iron Sheik, gets the title, and like now we are in the Hulkamania era, and it will go on forever. By the way,
can I tell you a little fun story about that match that Sheik used to tell? Have you ever heard about the situation? Oh God, what was his name? The dude who ran the AWA. His name's escaping me. He murdered a dude in a nursing home because he had dementia. He picked a guy up and slammed an old dude through a table.
Jesus Christ! No, I don't remember this.
Yeah, fuck. I'm trying to remember his name. But either way, the old guy who ran this tried to pay the Sheik a shit ton of money to break Hogan's leg during this match. Because he was so pissed off that Hogan went back to WWE and left AWA because like he was building everything up. He came out of Rocky 3 into AWA, and AWA ended up getting on ESPN during that time and like getting like more TV stuff. And then Hogan just left, and now he's doing the main event in Madison Square Garden. Vern Gagne, thank you, Pencil Neck. Vern Gagne contacted Sheik and offered him, I think, $100,000 to break Hulk's leg back. I think it was this 1980. Whatever year this was. And Sheik was like, I can't do that to Mr. Vince.
I love Iron Sheik. I like met him when I was like really young at like a heart. He was at like Chiller Theater. And who isn't at Chiller Theater, really?
Did you give him any change?
Huh?
Did you give him any change or what'd you do?
No, I took a picture of him and he waved at me. But actually I did kind of give him money years later. The app that I'm sad, the app I miss the most is the Iron Sheik alarm clock. Did you ever have this when it was available?
No.
Vinny.
Can I get it now?
Oh my God. I bought the Iron Sheik alarm clock app for my phone. And I want to say for 3 years, you could program, it was different recordings of him that you could set. And for 3 years, I woke up to, wake the fuck up, you jabroni! It was literally the Iron Sheik yelling at you.
So refreshed.
He'd be like, Monday, fuck the Monday. And I'm like, it got me out of bed real quick. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. And it got discontinued. And I miss it every day. I miss waking up to the Iron Sheik cursing at me. My girlfriend at the time, who was Iranian, did not like the app as much, Vinny. She did not appreciate an Iranian man screaming at us at 5 a.m.
She's like, what is this, my dad? What is my dad here?
Yeah, 3 years.
You ought to get in shower before I break your back and make you up.
My favorite was he would go, the Friday one was nice. It was Friday. I love the Friday. Please let me know in the chat if you have the Iron Sheik alarm clock. Super chat, by the way. I'm not reading the poor chat. And Vinny, I'm actually upset that you read that guy answering your question. That was part of the poor chat.
I'm going to read the poor chat.
No, don't read the poor chat.
No, I'm the people's champ, buddy. I read the poor chat.
Whoa. You
other people's shows. On other people's shows, you see.
Oh, wow, you asshole. Okay. I loved the little video of him and Mean Gene working out together. I fucking love that.
Gold. Solid gold.
One
gold. Of the golden eras of wrestling was fucking Mean Gene and Hulk's antics.
Yeah. He's waking them up. They're running around New York, and this is now WrestleMania. They had the idea to do like a huge show and get all the top talent together, and they weren't sure it was gonna work, Vinny. And they were able to lock down Mr. T. So celebrities at WrestleMania is literally from day one. And Mr. T makes sense. He was huge at the time. He was also in Rocky 3. And, he's also just a great wrestler and great actor. I'm not even sure which one he's better at, wrestling or acting. What do you think, Vinny?
Honestly, it's a toss-up.
You know what?
I like to think of what he did best wasn't wrestling or acting. It was loving his mother.
He was really good at loving his mother. Hulk Hogan was good at loving his mother. It's just apparently his dad he wasn't really close with.
Just not his kids' mothers.
Yeah, his kids' mothers wasn't a big fan of. You know where they are tied though? Singing. They were on the equal level when it came to singing.
I believe.
So yeah, they're hanging out together. So people are now paying attention to this wrestling. People who wouldn't usually watch wrestling are paying attention. And they decide to promote it on Richard Belzer's show. And Hulk puts him in a sleeper hold and he collapses to the ground and cuts open the back of his head. And then tries to sue them. It's a whole scandal.
Well, it's pretty wild because the way they sell it in this documentary is Linda and Hulk, we're still living in a little tiny apartment. And this big bad, Richard Belzer was suing us. And Hulk basically says Belzer deserved it because he was talking shit about the bit. Hulk really did not seem sorry about what he did to that skinny little fucking comedian.
You know
he
what?
He put him in a chin lock, cut off the blood flow to his fucking brain, and the guy drops and cracks his head open. He's bleeding all over the floor. And Hulk's like, "You
bullshit.
Shit up this, bro."
I'm calling bullshit. Okay, the way he fell down and threw his head back. Look, I've done pratfalls. I've done comedic falls. I think Richard Belzer was just trying to oversell this fall and hit the back of his head a little too hard and tried to blame it all on Hogan.
Well, he stood up and goes, and for the longest time, I felt that way too, because the way Belzer stands up after it, he claims he hit the ground. It was completely blacked out. And then he just pops up and goes, "We'll be right back." And he has stars in his eyes, and he turns around to the camera, and the back of his head is completely cut open. He's bleeding all over the back of his jacket.
I'm saying I don't think he was ever actually knocked out. I think he decided to fall down to the ground comedically and hit his head too hard and tried to blame it on the Hulkster.
Oh, is that what you think?
That's what I think.
Have you ever been put in a chin lock like that?
Not like that. No,
it really sucks. It's not fun. That's not a good move to do on someone just playing around.
You know what does throw my argument away is Hulk Hogan admitting that he did it. So I don't know why I'm defending him. So the one thing Hulk Hogan admits to, I'm like, he's innocent.
It was interesting because today I was flipping through my Sirius XM and there was Howard Stern was on talking about Richard Belzer. And he claims that Belzer got about $500,000 out of that settlement.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it had to have been more because Belzer took that money and bought a house in France that he named Shea Hogan with the money from that lawsuit. That's no joke. Till Belzer died, he lived in Shea Hogan in France.
That's hilarious. I don't know. We'd have to look that up. Regardless, WrestleMania is gigantic. It had Liberace there. It had all your favorites.
I'm just here looking for a wife.
It was huge. They beat up Piper, and now they're on top. They're on top of the world, baby. Vince and Hulkster. Then Hulk Hogan. Well, Hulk Hogan ends up running into his brother whenever he would wrestle in Oregon. And his brother said he was out of rehab and he needed money for, I think, what did he say, like rent or something?
I think he meant pills.
Yeah. Well, the Hulkster was just like, hey, why don't you come with me? He's like, oh, no, I just need money for rent and everything. It turns out his brother was very addicted to drugs and then used all that on drugs and unfortunately died. And that's when it gets like all super emotional. And Hulk Hogan like has to stop the interview. I mean, that's rough. I know that's like a thing where it's like, oh, if I had just done this, they would still be alive. Like, yeah, or you might have just delayed it from happening eventually if they weren't getting themselves help. But yeah, he's not the greatest actor, so I do believe that it affects him like years later.
This was actually the first I have ever heard of that story. I
didn't
not
hear
know
about the story either.
Who never knew all the research and all the shit I've learned about Hulk Hogan over the years. I never knew this, which really leads me to believe that it bothered him deep down.
Yeah.
Because this guy puts himself on the cross over everything. And you'll learn that later. Like he even talks about how, oh, the woe is me. The world is always, everything's always shitting on me. He talks about it all the time. He has a very pessimistic attitude towards life.
Yeah.
And the fact that that wasn't more a thing that he used to get sympathy while he was alive kind of tells me it really, really bothered him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was like a pretty big moment where he just stopped. He's like, we have to stop. And then it cuts. It reminds me of the Undertaker documentary, the Last Ride one, where I think it was the Last Ride where Vince McMahon has to stop the interview. Because they asked him like how much the Undertaker meant to him, and he was just like, no, we gotta cut it. Which has become like a meme since then, Vince McMahon doing this.
Yeah, I remember that.
Did you watch The Last Ride? I thought that was a good documentary, The Last Ride.
I did watch it, but I watched it it was on in the background. I didn't care that much.
My favorite part of that documentary is him being like, my first Saudi Arabia match didn't go really well, but I think I'm going to redeem it with this Goldberg match. It's like, oh no, the Goldberg one was so much worse.
Yeah, Goldberg, you and Goldberg will work the hell out of that.
He's like, oh man, Kane was overweight. Shawn Michaels was out of shape. Like, that was really bad. But this Goldberg one, we're really going to put on a show. Goldberg immediately knocks himself out on the pole.
Okay. Thank you, free chat. I want to say thank you to Matthew Snyder. Was Horace Hogan the brother's kid? Do you remember who Horace Hogan was?
Oh yeah, hold on.
In WCW, around 95, 96, they brought in Horace Hogan, who was supposedly Hulk's nephew.
Yeah, that was his nephew. It says Hulk Hogan's via Alan Balea. So yeah.
Wow. Thanks, Uncle Terry.
Was Horace Hogan not in this documentary? He's still alive.
He probably didn't have anything nice to say. I mean, I'll put it to you this way. When WWE bought WCW, I don't think they offered Horace a contract. And I mean, what a dumb name. Who? Look out. It's Horace. Horace is coming to the ring, everybody.
Oh, wait. Here, let's see. He was signed to a developmental contract. He did some dark matches for SmackDown. And then he was released. And then he went to the independent circuit, and now he's in construction. Or was. I don't know. He's probably retired now.
Sales because he couldn't sell anything when he was wrestling.
Yeah, his full name is Michael Alan Balea. Okay. Yeah, it's weird what they decide to leave out of this documentary, like different relations and stuff. They we'll talk about it soon. But they gloss over his friendship with Macho Man and how that fell apart. They totally pass by the whole mega powers thing. And granted, we've heard it in other documentaries, even like the Dark Side of the Ring, the Macho Man episode, the Miss Elizabeth episode, but still, I feel like that's a big part of his story that to leave out. I thought that was dumb. But of course, yeah, surprise, Andre the Giant. You got to do Andre the Giant. Like, you can't tell the Hulk Hogan story without this, which I wish they went more into detail, because I listened to like a interview of Vince McMahon like years ago, and like Andre the Giant did not want to do this match because his back was just fucked. But I guess it was just enough money to come back. But it's just like, oh man, everyone talks about that, him slamming him on his back. And I'm like, I just feel bad for the Giant at that point.
But you want to know something interesting about that?
Yeah.
Andre, was a very professional guy, but he was also a bit of a prick.
Oh yeah.
Everybody. So the story goes, ladies and gentlemen who aren't wrestling fans, whenever they would ask Andre to do something, there was never telling Andre to do anything. It was always you had to ask him, and he would leave you hanging with whether or not he was going to do it or not. This was one of those situations where he was just like, "Are you going to put Hogan over?" I don't know. At least that's what they claim. At least that's what they claim he did to him. And Hogan apparently always claimed that he was shitting bricks all the way up to this match because he had no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I believe that Andre told Vince, yeah, we're going to do it. My back hurts, whatever. But the greatest lie WWE has ever gotten away with is that this was the moment where someone finally slammed Andre the Giant. Andre was slammed by so many people. So many people picked up Andre. In fact, Andre was very good at it. He knew how to get himself up so people could get him and lift him. He knew how to do it. It was that scoop slam was literally nothing in the catalog of scoop slams that he has received over his career.
Well, keep in mind,
it was the biggest thing in the world. It's unbelievable.
Well, at this time, like, it's not like you could just watch wrestling whenever, look up matches. This was WrestleMania 3. It's broadcast ever. So for a lot of people, they probably didn't know that. This is probably the first time they're seeing him picked up, and they're like, "Oh shit, that's a thing that can happen." But you're right, yeah, probably happened a million times.
Hogan, it wasn't the first time Hogan did it to him. So everybody knows this is one of those moments that they really love to build up, and Hogan has been building up for years. I think he was on Cribs. Remember the show Cribs?
Yeah,
they did a Hulk Hogan Cribs. Did you ever see it?
I might have back in the day.
So they take Hogan's walking everybody through. This is my room, brother. This is where I got all my boots, brother. And he holds up one boot. He goes, "These are the boots I wore when I slammed Andre the Giant. He died a week later." Like, he said that shit. No, he did movies after that. Like, I mean, he just pathological liar.
That's one of those things with like old guys pre-internet. He must have gotten away with so many lies in his life. Yeah. And he was just not ready for the era of fast fact checking. He never grew out of that. He was lying until the day he lies in this documentary, according to the people close to him.
There's so much lying in this documentary, and it's not even just from him. Other people are just lying to keep the story narrative going. But Hulk lied, and Carl had a really interesting theory on it that I loved. My co-host Carl on the Takeoff, he said, "Vinny, I'm thinking that maybe the reason why Hulk lied so much is just because it was fun."
Yeah.
Hulk just like to have fun and lie. Yeah.
Because he's a bigger than life guy. He's probably meeting people who think he's awesome, and he just tells them lies just to be like, "Yeah, and I did this and I did that. And I almost played for Metallica." And at the time, no one was there to debunk him. No one would.
Let me tell you something, dude. The Yakuza chased me out of Japan because I refused to do a job for Antonio Inoki, brother. He would tell stories like that. Shut the fuck up.
No, Vinny, I believe that with all my heart. I believe that's a true story. I'm writing it. Oh, I'm very surprised. Somehow this documentary was able to get Donald Trump, our president, our 45th or 47th president, to talk about.
I knew he was bored. He didn't have other things to be doing. Other than that.
Well, he starts off going like, "I have a call with Russia," and I'm like, I'm glad you took time to talk about Hulk Hogan. But look, I mean, whether depending on how you feel about him, Vinny, I know you think he's the greatest American, second to Hulk Hogan. I don't share your opinion, but he is important to wrestling and Hulkamania and WWE because they had 2 WrestleManias at Trump Plaza. He is a big
The
character
shitty
in,
ones.
huh?
The shittiest ones.
I don't know what you're. Macaulay Culkin was at one of those. You're saying a WrestleMania with Macaulay Culkin was bad?
Whatever.
Yeah. What was it? It was 5 and 6 or 4 and 5? I think it was 5 and 6.
I think it was 5 and 6.
Yeah. So yeah, he's talking about how like his relationship with Hulkster and like thought he was awesome. He supported Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan would end up supporting him many years later, at which Vinny agreed with. Anyway,
Did I tell you about when I saw Hogan?
yeah,
I'll save it when we get towards the end of this
okay,
thing. But I went to one of Hulk Hogan's beer stops.
okay.
And it was during the election. It was like a couple weeks before the election. And it was basically a Trump commercial from behind a bar with a bullhorn with the shittiest beer you've ever tasted.
Well, you know what I'm annoyed at? I bought at his beach shop, I bought his Hogan for President 2024 shirt, and I wore it that whole year. And I'm like, yeah, Hogan for President. And then he ends up endorsing another guy. I'm like, well, now my shirt looks stupid.
Hogan played you.
He did. It said "Make Wrestling Great Again" on the back. Now I still have that shirt, but I can't really wear it because it's like, well, 2024 is over. Kind of looks. I don't want to look like an idiot, Vinny. Anyway, he beat Macho Man at WrestleMania 5, and now they're talking about the merchandise, the potty training Hulk Hogan.
I'd shit on that.
They talk about the vibrating Hulk Hogan, and this is a great comedic moment. I'm like, where was this acting when you were actually in movies? He's like, the vibrating Hulk Hogan, that had to be scrapped. He's like, why? And he goes, oh, I don't know. And he rolls his eyes. But I think, of course, the most famous Hulk Hogan thing ever is the wrestling buddy.
Yeah. Now, did you cut that hole in that, or did it come with that?
There is no hole. For the audio listeners, there is no hole. It's pristine. It looks like it just came out of the box years ago.
Now, how do you make it vibrate?
No comment. Let's just keep going. Yeah, so everything is going nuts. And then he has his daughter, Brooke. She will pop up occasionally in this video.
Yeah.
They really go like
picture. Maybe 30 years or so before she disowns him. It's a beautiful picture.
Yeah. But it's just like he had a kid, Brooke, and that was great. And then they're like, and then he had another kid. Let's talk about Nick. Nick is great. He really loved Nick. And it just goes all in on Nick. And it's like, and remember, Brooke was there. And it's like, oh, okay.
There is so much Nick in this. Little Nick running around. You love your daddy, don't you, Nick? Just so stupid.
But since they couldn't
Daddy, baby.
Since they couldn't get Brooke Hogan, Bubba the Love Sponge thinks they put Natalia in there as like a substitute. They're like, we need a daughter of a wrestler. Let's get Natalia. She doesn't really have much to say. She's like,
huh? They didn't want to go for Charlotte. They went for Natalia.
Yeah, but I guess Charlotte was in Ric Flair's 30 on 30, so I don't know. Okay. Yeah, Charlotte would have been weird. Not a lot of Ric Flair in this. Not a lot of Ric Flair talk. That was another thing I thought that I really want to know why the one time Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan were in the same WrestleMania, they didn't wrestle each other.
I know why. I've heard Bruce Pritchard talk about it.
Oh, tell me.
Well, Bruce Pritchard's thing was they didn't think that Rick was going to leave as quick as he did.
Oh,
they thought that they had more years with Rick, but Rick was only working on a 1-year contract, and he was just like, bye. And they're like, oh, well, I guess we fucking lost that.
Okay, well, I'm very glad that they eventually learned their lesson. And then when Sting and Undertaker were finally in the WWE, they had them wrestle, right?
No, they had him wrestle Triple H for some reason. They had Sting wrestle Triple H.
I already knew that, but that just makes me so mad because I wasn't watching at that point.
Hulk Hogan was that to that.
Oh, good. I wasn't watching wrestling at that point, but when I got back into it, I'm like, wait, you mean to tell me at some point Sting and Undertaker were in the same thing and they didn't wrestle? Like, how did they end up doing this again? This is a horrible missed opportunity. But I think Sting got injured. So I think he was going to be around. I think he hurt his neck, right?
Seth Rollins did the buckle bomb and basically broke bones in Sting's neck, and then he was out for a couple years, and he went to AEW and acted like a maniac. You know what? Pencil Neck makes a good point. Rick and Hogan also didn't generate great responses in house shows. That I believe, because Rick's great at selling. Like Rick's would be great with Hogan because Hogan would just be throwing him around and Rick would be doing his little dirty moves. I think it would be a cool match, but probably very formulaic and
I mean, it was like I have seen like yeah, I have seen like VHS video, like people sneaking in videotapes to house shows and stuff. But like that's still what for a WrestleMania event, even if the match wasn't great, that would have been a really great match to promote the thing. Like, hey, the two biggest wrestlers ever are finally gonna fight. And they eventually did in WCW, but it was kind of like past like when it would have really hit.
Yeah, and it was also in WCW during the armpit of WCW time.
So yeah, at this point, he kind of wants to leave wrestling because he's just not with his kids or family. He's just constantly working. And they go, I know, we'll replace him with the Ultimate Warrior.
What could go wrong? Speaking of loved by all.
You know, I have the Ultimate Warrior's comic book. You ever read that thing?
The one where, did he drop the N-bomb?
I don't know. Now I have to pull the issue out and see. But no, he has his like fake word Destrucity in there. It just sounds like the rambling. The movie reviewer I used to really like on YouTube was Spoonie. He's since like gone crazy or whatever. But he did a really funny video where he went through the Ultimate Warrior's comic book and read it like in the Ultimate Warrior's voice. And it's so fucking hilarious. But yeah, they try to make the Ultimate Warrior thing. Now, I don't know. You're a little bit older than me. Did people really hate the Ultimate Warrior? Because I feel like he did have fans, even if it wasn't
people. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me answer your question. The people who hated the Ultimate Warrior were just the people who knew the Ultimate Warrior. Fans liked him. Anybody who had to work with him thought he was the biggest asshole on planet Earth.
Yeah.
In fact, the story goes, one of the only people who could ever actually talk to him and get him to do anything was not Vince. It was not any like Bruce or, Sergeant Slaughter. None of these guys could talk to this guy. He was just an asshole. He would listen to Linda McMahon.
Really? Of all the people?
Which is really weird. Yeah. Of all people. That's why she inducted him into the Hall of Fame when he went in. Linda McMahon did the speech.
And then
she was the one who'd have to call him. Yeah, she'd be the one who'd have to call him when he would fucking throw temper tantrums and leave.
Did he die like the day after the Hall of Fame thing?
I think the 2 days after the Hall of Fame. He went into the Hall of Fame during WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Then he went and did Monday Night Raw.
Right.
And it had this thing where everybody had the stupid Warrior paint masks. He comes out, shakes the ropes, and then he's walking to the car with his wife and kid and drops dead, which, I mean, is a tragedy.
Well, at least he was able, according to Hulk Hogan, he was able to make peace with him. He doesn't bring that up during this documentary. This making peace meeting that no one was a witness to. But I have friends who were like, yeah, I love the Ultimate Warrior. So this kind of frames it as just like, yep, everyone hated him. He was so terrible. And it's like,
and that's fine because he was an asshole. I don't mind. That's the way this movie should have ended about Hogan.
Yeah. I was hoping they would. I was really hoping they would try to like talk about like other ways they try to replace Hogan. They don't talk about Lex Luger at all. How like Lex Luger was supposed to be this vain supermodel guy, but then they tried to turn him into like an American. Yeah, and it just didn't work at all.
Tony, one of the things that we did not touch on yet in this that was brought up in this documentary that's such an important part of Hulk Hogan's career is he talks in the documentary about how he didn't have really a gimmick other than being Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm just this big, strong muscle guy. People loved me. They cheered for me, but he didn't have a gimmick.
Yeah.
And you remember what he said he decided his gimmick was going to be?
Remind me. Super
America.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you know what I should do? I should just drape myself in the American flag, and that'll be my gimmick.
Yes.
So that's what he did. And so when they went to replace him, they go, oh, what should we do for Lex Luger? Oh, yeah, just throw the American gimmick on him.
They also kind of did that. Remember the Undertaker had an American flag inside his trench coat?
Survivor Series when he was on Hogan's team. Like, nobody,
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to remember. He came out and they didn't know which side he was going to be on, and he opened up his trench coat and there was an American flag, and everybody like popped.
Yeah. So yeah,
God, that was great.
Yeah, so he loses the belt to the Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior's not getting over, according to them. And they have to bring Hulk Hogan back. So they give the belt to Sergeant Slaughter, and then Hulk Hogan beats Sergeant Slaughter. And
Sarge.
win. What was that?
I love Sarge.
Sergeant Slaughter's awesome. He's awesome.
I have an amazing autograph of him in my office right over there. And he wrote on it, Hulk who?
Yeah, he did that. I remember I like tweeted him like years ago, and I'm like, yeah, it's like when Hulk Hogan punched the America back into you, and he did the Hulk who thing.
Dude, it's an amazing like hand drawn like comic book style thing where he's got Hulk Hogan in a headlock on one side and Cobra Commander in a headlock on the other. Like my favorite, right there. I'm looking at it.
Now, Hulk Hogan constantly will do this thing where he's like, they're not getting over, and I had to come back. But like, how much of that is true, and how much of it is jealousy?
It's a good mix. It's definitely a good mix. Percentages, I can't tell you for sure.
Yeah.
But Hulk, man, if he wasn't on top, it was a thing.
Yeah.
He always knew how to, he was always accused of politics, and the old line when he was in WCW was, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
Which
is what you said to me when I said we shouldn't title this episode a tribute to a man we all loved. And you said, that's not going to work for me, brother. You have to title it this way. And I said, okay, Vinny, whatever you want, Vinster.
Just because you're wearing a Hulk Hogan shirt doesn't mean you need to lie about everything.
No, it's actually when you put it on, you end up being like Hulk Hogan. So my arms are really big right now, and I'm lying. I'm just like Hulk Hogan. I've also done a lethal amount of fentanyl because of my knee pain. Anyway, I love this little teaser at the end because like the next one is like kind of like the fall. It's going to start with the first fall of Hulkamania. And like, what do you think is going to happen to Hulkamania? It's just this kid going like, I think he's going to die. And I'm like, that's pretty rough. Jesus Christ. They repeat that like several times.
Kids are fucking awesome. Hold on. Back to the free chat, Tony.
Stop reading the free chat.
Daniel
Paraphrase. Don't read it verbatim.
He brought up a story that's really, really good about Hogan and what a piece of shit he was during this time. Do you remember when The Undertaker first kind of debuted? He was like this big bad guy, and he had a little thing with Hogan. They had a program together, and at one point, The Undertaker's finishing move was the Tombstone Pile Driver. Yeah. Which is one of the it could be very dangerous, but when The Undertaker does it, it's very safe. He knows what he's doing. And he does it to Hogan on a chair. Mm-hmm. And Hogan's head was 3 inches from the mat.
Yeah.
3 inches. Like you watch the tape, nowhere near the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Taker brings him down, and Hogan goes, "Oh, you got me, brother. You got me." And Undertaker tells the story. He legitimately thought he paralyzed Hulk Hogan. He legitimately thought he hurt him. And there was nothing. Nobody knows why Hulk just said this. Nobody knows why he did this. Just to have something over the new guy who is going to be a star. I don't know what would possess you to lie about an injury.
Yeah.
With the new guy. It was a very shitty thing to do. And that's why I don't think Undertaker ever liked him. And I wouldn't blame him.
Well, I'm glad they put their differences aside to do videos shitting on Batista for not voting for Trump. That was the thing that they did recently together. So I imagine that they became friends in the end. What do you think, Vinny?
No.
Part 3, Hollywood Hogan. Now, a lot of this segment is going to be about how Hulkamania was getting stale.
Yeah.
But I was born in 1980. I was born in 1989, so for me, as a young kid, Hulkamania was new, and I was loving it. And I want everyone to keep that in mind for when the heel turn happens.
Sure, but can I also bring up one more shitty thing Hogan did before we get into this? I'm sorry, Tony. I just want to shit on him so bad because we talked about Bret Hart earlier.
Yeah.
Now, one of those times where Hogan was retired and we talked about him coming back, was it jealousy? Was it whatever? One of the more, I was really happy they put the WrestleMania. What WrestleMania was it at Caesar's Palace? When Bret Hart,
we're going to talk about that.
Oh, is it coming up?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Oh, how can we not talk about that?
I thought we were going right over to WCW. I'm
No,
sorry.
no. I referenced that match in my Suburban Commando thing, but I accidentally said WrestleMania 10 instead of 9. So
Yeah,
sorry,
it was
all you wrestling.
9. That's right.
Sorry, all you wrestling fans. I'm sorry I got the WrestleMania wrong. So yeah,
I've never been able to do those, so don't worry about
it. So this starts off. Apparently, he was trying to do this like I might retire gimmick, and then it just never happened. But he was preparing people for the idea that he might leave. And then this is around the time that the steroid scandal starts to happen. And he's just admits, I love in this documentary, like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I've been doing steroids since the beginning. But he's like, I didn't want people to think I was a bad guy. So he had to go around. He's like, people read the paper to get informed, but they also read the paper to be misinformed, Arsenio. So he did this whole like I'm innocent tour. And again, he wasn't a great actor.
He claimed that I took steroids. It was a prescription. A doctor gave it to me because I had injuries, and I definitely used them, but it was only because a doctor wanted me to get better, brother. And everything's all natural. Hulkamania's running wild. Such a lying sack of shit.
At least he admitted to lying in this documentary. So yeah, this is my favorite part. He's assembling one of the Wayne Manor Batcave toy sets. The most popular Batman toy set of all time. Every time they made a movie, they just repainted it and added new stickers. I think it started in 1992. It might have went all the way up to Batman Begins. They were just using the same toy set. I talked about this on an episode of Peg Warmers, my friend's toy review show, which fans of WATP will remember. Carl reviewed it and shit all over my good friend Kevin. So yeah, I thought it was fun.
Better.
Yeah. So I thought it was fun seeing him with that toy set. I'm like, man, that toy set was just in shelves forever. They just kept putting that thing out.
And every year Nick would get a new one.
Yeah. So yeah, they're talking about Hulkamania. He wanted to come back after leaving for a bit. Bret Hart finds out that he is losing WrestleMania 9. Put it back on. Hold on. We got to play the song for you.
Bret Hart's my favorite of all time, people. He is my all-time favorite. When I was really little, it was always Macho Man over Hogan. And then I was Bret Hart Mark as a kid. I thought the pink glasses, all that shit was awesome. The leather jacket. I
was never a big Bret Hart guy. I don't know why. I just never.
You're retarded. That's why.
Please refrain from using that word, Vinny. Okay.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I was just trying to describe Tony as a child, and it seemed to
everyone cancel Vinny. Go to his channel, strike it. Anyway. Yeah. So Bret Hart finds out that he's gonna lose the belt, and Hogan is gonna kind of steal the spotlight. He's pissed off about it. So yeah, Yokozuna, which they kind of leave out. I've heard this that Vince McMahon, to tackle the steroid accusations, he just started putting big fat guys on the cards like Yokozuna and Mabel. And he's like, look, these guys don't have muscles. Not everyone's on steroids. Also, how many people, at what point did you learn that Yokozuna was actually Samoan? And how did that mess up your life?
I was in my 20s probably, and it didn't really mess up my life, but I was like questioning Mr. Fuji after that. I was like, what is going
on? Yeah, so
Bret Hart is all. I also have a feeling that's why Bret Hart got the belt over guys like Diesel and Razor Ramon and stuff like that, because Bret wasn't very big. He was a smaller guy, and it was all, image.
Yeah. So yeah, he loses to Yokozuna, and then Hulk Hogan comes out. Now, this is funny to watch because everyone being interviewed was like, it was terrible. Everyone hated it. But then you see the crowd going kind of nuts for it. But I can imagine, like, if you're in the crowd, you didn't expect to see Hulk Hogan or any of this happen. So it might have been exciting in the moment in person. But at home, people were probably like, what the fuck is this about?
I remember when I saw it, I wasn't happy. I was not a happy child. I didn't get to get the pay-per-views. I had to learn about it after, and I was like, what? Hogan? How does Hogan have the belt?
It It's just a weird contrast of them being like, everyone hated it. Cut to the crowd going absolutely nuts over it.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know if that's the best. And they should have said what I said. Like, it was cool in the moment, but afterwards, people realized it wasn't the best idea. So of course they decide. So of course they decide to have Yokozuna beat Hulk Hogan, and I don't think they mentioned it, but I've heard other things where they made sure Yokozuna like sat down so he didn't kick out or anything.
Yeah.
Because he was famous. Even when he got pinned, he would still kick his leg a little bit. It's like, oh, fuck off, you lost, just lose.
That guy was so round. I don't know how you pin his shoulders.
Yeah, it really didn't make sense. How do you pin Yokozuna? So he's out again. He leaves. And now this bothered me too.
No mention of No Holds Barred.
Well, no. What I'm saying is they start talking about his movie career and they show No Holds Barred. I'm like, well, that was years prior. Like the documentary kind of goes out of order. It'll be like, and then he was doing movies. By the way, he's been doing movies this whole time. Like, oh, okay. Because I texted you 2 episodes in. I'm like, they have not mentioned any of his movies that were coming out around this time. And it was starting to piss me off. But yeah, they talk about No Holds Barred, which I review with the Blue Meanie. And they even got Christopher Lloyd.
Are we going to skip over how they fucked over Bret Hart?
We just talked about it. They gave the thing the whole...
Exactly. They Hulk comes out and goes, "Don't worry." They make Bret lose, and then Hulk comes out and he's like, "Don't worry, little buddy, I'm gonna go avenge you." It was the stupidest, silliest thing in the world.
Yeah,
and Bret has the best line. That's when Bret picked up a shot glass. He goes, "Fuck you."
He was a good guy at one point, but at the end, he was a piece of shit.
Yeah,
it is really dumb when you watch it in retrospect. It's just like, that is not a good idea. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get Christopher Lloyd, who's just like, he was a great guy. I'm guessing Christopher Lloyd hasn't been keeping up with Hulk Hogan. So he's just like, I'll do the documentary. What a wonderful man. I loved him. He was a great friend. When they talk about your favorite show of all time, because you've watched every episode and commented on it, Thunder in Paradise. I think I was on the first one of those that you guys were doing, right?
I wish you were on more of them with us because, man, what a fun. Have you watched them all?
I mean, I was watching this with my dad as it was airing. Like, I was late to Hulkamania because of my age, but I was all in on him. Like, yeah, now he's on a boat. Al, how did you love the episode where he's got to save the Queen of England from Truckosaurus? That was a good one.
That was amazing. And listen, when you tell me that you watch this with your dad and we're so into it, I'm not going to use that certain word again, but I want you to know I'm thinking it.
You know, it's funny when we did the commentary and I said I did that. I think you might have used the word back then as well.
Yeah, this show was so bad, folks. Basically, the way that show worked is they filmed it on the Disney lot.
Yeah.
They filmed it at Disney, part of it in Tampa at some hotel for like one episode that was a movie. Then they filmed the rest of it just on the property of Disney. Yeah. And every episode had like weird costumes that were just part of something that they found in a closet somewhere. It's like, oh yeah, we need Civil War reenactors for this episode. Great. We got a closet full of these.
Dude, it was like if someone on Baywatch had like a spy boat, which by the way, I've been telling the fans, all my TVs are set to the 24/7 Baywatch channel. And I kind of wish there was a 24/7 Thunder in Paradise channel. I might enjoy that one more. But yeah, I really want to go through Thunder in Paradise at some point. But he apparently said
I'll watch it again with you anytime. But that show, folks, it was a mismatch of every other genre you've ever seen. There's an episode where he's like Indiana Jones. There's an episode where he's fighting the Predator. There's an episode where he finds a feral child and takes him in. Yeah. It's 3 men and a little baby. Or 3 men and a little. It's all of these things all in one with the worst acting you've ever seen. And Jack Lemmon's son plays his sidekick.
Right,
and
right.
God, Jack Lemmon had to be just ashamed. I would have cut. If I'm Jack Lemmon, I cut that guy out of the will.
One of my favorite things when I worked for Cinemasker, Mike Matei, he would do all these. He still live streams, but he had this bit for a while. Remember the Conan O'Brien's Walker Texas Ranger lever?
Yeah.
Mike Matei made the Thunder in Paradise lever, and he would just crank it. It would play random clips of Thunder in Paradise.
That's brilliant.
So he'd be playing a game, and then he pull the lever, and it's like Hulk Hogan like on a jet ski shooting out of a torpedo thing. It was hilarious. Um, but around this time, he's talking about how like he didn't really like doing the movies and shows because he had to like sit for hours, and a lot of filmmaking is hurry up and wait.
I have to imagine you realize they were garbage.
Well, that too, that too. I don't know. You think Suburban Commando's bad? Are you more of a
Yeah.
Mr. Nanny guy? You're more of a Mr. Nanny guy, aren't you?
No.
You're probably Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain, right?
No.
Yes, end. You're supposed to yes end, Vinny.
I don't know what that is.
Fuck you.
I do know, but that's that's what I do.
So conveniently,
Easy.
where they're filming was right next to WCW, which was not the best place in the world at the time. Ted Turner decided to get in the wrestling business. He didn't really know what he was doing. Of course, he had this young buck, Eric Bischoff, helping him out. But yeah, I think it was like people would bounce back and forth between WCW and WWF. But they were able to get Hulk Hogan, and I was shocked to learn that this parade was fake. Were you shocked? I spent my whole life thinking that they were just really thrilled that Hulk would be at WCW, and these are all people who loved him.
I know that everybody at Disneyland was so excited to get their WCW signs made before they went to Disney to carry around with them all day. Fun fact about this. This is another part of the movie, everybody, where the timeline makes no sense.
Yeah, it's going all over the place.
Yeah, because he was with WCW when they started filming Thunder in Paradise. He was already with them.
Yeah.
That's how Sting and stuff was in it. Like he wasn't filming Thunder in Paradise by Disney, and they're like, "Hey, come join WCW." It was already done. He was already there. It was already a thing. So this is annoyed me, but it was very surprising that they got him. This parade was their big, giant celebration to try to make it look like it was a good decision, and they just wandered. They floundered for about 5 more years after this of garbage red and yellow.
Unless you were young Tony, then you were like, this is all perfect and I'm loving it. Oh wow, Glacier, he's like a Mortal Kombat wrestler. WCW is the best. I was very young, Vinny. All right, I didn't know.
I know. I don't know of anybody who was into WCW at that point.
Look, I was looking at WWF and I'm like, excuse me, a wrestling clown? No, thank you. I'm going to watch Glacier, the Ice Ninja. It's more realistic. Thank you very much. So yeah, he's in WCW now. But don't worry, he still has business with Vince McMahon. He has to testify against him and totally bury him, even though Vince ended up getting off. They found not guilty or whatever, right? Because it was deemed
really. I don't think Hulk buried him as much as they like to pretend he buried him. I mean, he's the reason Vince walked out of there, not in handcuffs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Vince is a shitbag too, by the way, everybody.
He is? Tell me more.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me pull up the lawsuit from Janelle Grant. For those of you who don't know, Vince McMahon right now is being sued for a lot of money because he apparently shit on a woman's head. Apparently.
Wait, that's still going? That didn't like.
No, that's still going. That's a whole thing.
Brock Lesnar.
Now it's a whole thing.
By the way, I read those text messages with Vince. Can we all get on the same page? Vince McMahon's gay, right? Can we all get into that?
Might be.
Because all these texts with the girl, it's like mostly about the guy's dicks, and I'm like, I feel like you don't even really care that the girl's there in these fantasies that you're making up. I'm like, you can just come out, buddy. It's fine. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that at some point. But yeah,
it's fascinating.
I had this recorded on a tape, and I used to watch Bash at the Beach like all the time. My dad's cousin, my uncle Pete, was like he got all the pay-per-views and he would tape them for me if I wasn't able to watch them live.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so I used to watch this Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair fight all the time. Mr. T came back. Yeah, and they had like a decent match. And then around this time is where you get Nash and Scott Hall, Diesel and Razor Ramon. They started in WCW, made it kind of big in WWF, and then bounced back over to WCW as the Outsiders. Actually, if you want to know more about the story, watch the Monday Night Wars documentary. I actually really like that series.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a lot better and it's a little more accurate.
yeah. Well, this
Little
is
more.
like because the focus is Hulk Hogan, so a lot of this is sped up. But I like because they were trying to play it off that they were the same people, and WWF is like, no, you can't pretend they're Diesel and Razor Ramon. You got to change it up a little bit. So they're like, yeah, we're Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. We're two totally different people. Um, so yeah, they were the outsiders. They were fighting WCW, and WCW hated these guys. There was a big WCW versus outsider event. And then this is when 6-year-old Tony died inside, Vinny.
This is where Vinny was born.
This is where because again, it wasn't stale for me. Hulkamania was new for me, and I was running wild. And then I find out that this hero of mine just became a bad guy. And I went, I'm like, wait, good guys can become bad guys? I'm like, I don't understand what you're doing here. I don't understand. And I stopped watching wrestling for a few years because it made me so sad.
When the NWO came around, because that's what's forming right here, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
Hulk comes out and they make it look like he's coming to save the day for WCW.
He's going to save Macho Man, his friend.
He drops the old leg on Macho Man, and then he starts hanging out and dapping up Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, and he becomes this bad guy wearing his wife's leggings.
Oh, yeah. That was the best reveal. He didn't have enough black clothes, so his wife gave him her leggings.
Yeah. That's Linda's pants he's wearing there. She had the lightning bolts on him.
Yeah.
But she definitely the reason they were crotchless.
Now, of course, looking back, this was the best thing they could have done. This was the smartest decision. Of course, they would ruin it. The NWO would get like too big and have too many members, and then split off, and it'd be a shit show. At some point, the Ultimate Warrior comes back and has the worst match of all time. That ruins a pretty okay pay-per-view. I know everyone that like shits on. I actually have a commentary track for that pay-per-view. What was it? Halloween Havoc '98.
It was Halloween Havoc '98.
It's actually
OWN, the One Warrior Nation.
It's actually not a bad pay-per-view. For some reason, Disco Inferno has 2 matches and they're both solid. It really is just the Ultimate Warrior match that destroys it because it ran overtime. And then Goldberg has probably the best match of his career, and most people didn't even get to see it because
was that the one against? Who was that against? Was it DDP?
DDP. It's one of his best matches. He wasn't known for having like really good wrestling matches. They were mostly squash matches, and it's actually one of his best. And because Warrior and Hogan went on too long, in some markets it would just cut out at black. It would just cut to black right when the match started. So they had to play it free on Nitro the next night.
I remember.
But looking back, making the NWO, which I think Bischoff saw Japan doing this, like Japan had like little factions inside. So he's like, well, let's just do that in America. No one in America is watching Japanese matches. We can just take it. It was super smart. It was the best. It kept Hulk Hogan going because the Hulkamania thing, it got a little stale. It was very 80s.
This was the only time I was into Hulk Hogan. I was never like a Hulkamaniac. Like I said, Macho Man first, then Bret Hart. Yeah. And in WCW, I always liked Ric Flair better than Hulk.
Yeah.
Because Ric Flair was fun.
He is funny. And he is pretty great. Although
and Hulk screaming at old people, you're like, okay, this guy's great.
Real quick, Vinny.
What
did Ric Flair do recently? Because I opened up Twitter later and he's earlier and he's apologizing for something he said, and he wants everyone to be nice to him on social media tomorrow. What happened this time? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't keep up with it this week. He
capitalizes the first letter in every single word in all his tweets
because he doesn't want to get it wrong. He doesn't remember which ones need to go. Ric Flair is a disaster of a man.
He really is.
I am not allowed to tell some Ric Flair stories, but I spent the weekend in Nashville, Tennessee during his last match when he was.
I remember you went to that, yeah. Where he fell asleep at the end.
He barely woke up. Like he didn't regain consciousness. He couldn't get back on his feet for the last, 10 minutes of that match. And then they give him the pin. I think he pinned Jeff Jarrett or whatever. Andrade flops him over that. They finally prop him up, and he's like, "Thank you, everybody. It's been a wonderful career. We're going to Kid Rock's bar tonight to get hammered. See you there."
He had such a great retirement match, and he screwed it up multiple times.
Dude,
did I tell you about
retirement match with Shawn Michaels was amazing.
Dude, WrestleMania 40. He was at Xfinity Live, the big bar near the stadiums, and they were charging like $100 to go to his private like event or whatever. I go to the bathroom. I guess they didn't know I was in there because security like clears people out so he could have the whole bathroom to the bar to himself. Okay. And I don't realize this is happening. And I walk out of the bar and I'm like washing my hands, and like the mirrors are kind of divided and there's like 2 rows of them. So I'm washing my hands and I look over and Ric Flair's just staring at me with panic in his eyes. Because I guess he was like, oh no, one of these wrestling nerds is in here and they're going to ask me all these. Like he was probably like, oh no, he's going to ask me all these questions. He's going to do this. He's going to do this. And I had met him when I was a kid and yelled at him when I was a kid. So I already got it out of my system. This wasn't my first meeting with Ric Flair. So I washed my hands and went, oh, hey. And I walked out and the security guy saw me walk out and he had a panic attack because he looked at me. He's like, oh no, I missed that there was a guy in there.
Rick's going to yell at me.
Yeah, Rick's going to be like, there was a fucking dude in there. Why didn't you stop it?
Well,
I felt so bad. I didn't mean to scare him. I'm like, I didn't know. I was taking a shit. I didn't realize everyone left the bathroom.
I was backstage during that whole pay-per-view thing.
Yeah.
And Earl Skakel, the comic, and I were just shooting the shit. And fucking Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant is there cutting promos with Tony Schiavone. Yeah. And we're just standing there watching like 10 feet away, just like children watching all this stuff. And we're talking and I'm looking over at Earl and a door flies open on the other side of Earl and out comes Rick in his fucking robe with it open and the and he's like, how much longer is it going to be? How much longer am I going to wait for these guys? Are they almost done out there? When am I going out? And he was like, yeah. And a producer runs up with a clipboard and he turns around and looks at me and starts marching right towards me. Earl had kind of his back to him. Yeah. I was the one staring Rick in the face. And he grabbed that clipboard from that person and starts marching towards me. And I was like, oh no. And he goes right past me and starts yelling at the guy on the other side of me. And Earl and I just kept eye contact, like, okay, let's wait for this to be over before we move. Because he was so mad, dude. He was so mad. It was wild.
Oh my god. So yeah, I feel
there was some battle royal happening out in the ring, and it was just taking so long that he was just losing his shit.
So I'm glad you got to see Ric Flair's final match. Well, one of his final matches. My second favorite wrestling story with you is when CM Punk came to AEW and he had a big Carl Sucks sign. Yeah. Not on camera.
Yeah, I was dead center on Dynamite. I was right there at the big sign that said Carl Sucks. And the best part was I held it up every time Carl Anderson came out.
Oh, that's great. My favorite sign that someone had, some dude printed out a big picture of my face, like the one from the shirt that I have. And they brought it to an NXT pay-per-view, and like the women's match, whenever Becky Lynch was like hitting a girl with a chair, my big ass face came up behind them. And I'm like, this is great. This made me so happy. Anyway, around this time, around this time, Hulk Hogan, his wife realizes that they're kind of growing apart. And Booker T is on this documentary saying that like he was hitting his midlife crisis. He's like 45, 46 around this point. And he didn't want to cope with getting younger. So here he is hanging out with Dennis Rodman, another great wrestler and actor. I'm sure he did some other things, but we all know him as a wrestler and an actor.
He won a couple NBA championships.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just know him as the guy from what was it, Double Team or Double Impact. Fuck, I fucked up that joke because I can't remember the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie that he's in. What is that movie?
Hard Times or something like that?
No. It's Double something. Double Team. Is it Double Team? Yes, it was Double Team. I think Jean-Claude Van Damme is in another Double movie, so I got confused. Yeah, Double Team is awesome. You want to come on the show, review Double Team one day, Vinny?
Yes.
Mickey Rourke's the bad guy, so there's another wrestling connection.
Ooh. Hulk Hogan was offered that role first.
Oh, he was. Yeah, they really wanted me.
They
really wanted me to be Stavros in Double Team, brother.
Could you imagine Hulk trying to act with Marissa Tomei? You gotta put your top back on, honey.
So yeah, they're starting to grow a little bit apart, and then he's forced to get out of the ring for a while because of a leg injury that he never got fixed. And here, by the way, hearing him talk about how he blew his knee out and just didn't get it worked on for 20 years. Meanwhile, I'm on like 5 months of my knee hurting. I'm like, how did he do it? How did he not kill himself? And at this point, he decides he's going to run for president.
Yeah, this is when Hulk Hogan was with WCW. Part of the way they got him, and we should be very clear on this because it explains why his career in WCW was so fucking weird. He had full creative control over his character. So they couldn't make Hulk do anything that he didn't want Hulk to do or what he didn't think. So that's where the famous line, "That doesn't work for me, brother," would happen. Hey, Hulk, we want you to go out and put over this guy. That's not going to work for me, brother. I think the Hulk would win that match. And he just did pretty much whatever he wants. And got paid a lot of money.
It does start to ruin WCW. Like, because he wasn't the only one. I think like Nash and other ones had creative control. And
they had favored nations clauses, which meant that like anybody who came in, like when Bret Hart came in and they offered him a ton of money, they had to get paid as much as Bret Hart. Like they would just get raises every time they signed a high price talent over from WWE.
Jesus,
which is a terrible business plan.
Speaking of terrible ideas, Vince Russo ends up in the WCW around this time.
Look at this slap nuts. I went to a WCW Nitro that Vince Russo wrote, and it was the worst wrestling show I've ever been to.
Now,
Billy Kidman.
Now, there's like some contention here. Like, was Vince Russo really the bad guy, or was he just limited with the roster that he had and all their creative control and shit? Or was it both? Was it just two bad things clashing?
I'm going to lean into they were all doing a shitty job. And this was not the guy who was going to fix any of it.
Yeah. I know he did a good job in WWE, but
did he? What did he do? Like, he was a writer. Vince is still the guy making all the decisions.
Yeah, but it was like during the Attitude Era. That was like some of the best stuff.
Well, then he left and the Attitude Era got better and better.
Oh, that's true. Well, he got the ball rolling. Okay.
Well, his thing was his job before he was a writer at WWE was he was one of the writers and editors of the WWE magazine.
Yeah.
So like he started writing in like this more graphic style, and Vince was impressed by it. And he's like, "Hey, come on up here, pal, sit in the writers' meetings." And this guy just would go in there and be a contrarian to all the people who knew what they were talking about. And Vince is a maniac. So he's like, "I like this guy, not a yes man. He's telling me things these other guys aren't telling me. We should promote him." And he just ended up working under Vince, changing the tone of a lot of things, which again, I agree with you. He got the ball rolling on stuff, but his actual contributions, I'm very skeptical of what he really did.
Well, I'm seeing here the Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Mr. McMahon feud are like obviously the biggest.
He wrote it. He wrote
this
that.
This is what it's saying.
Jim Ross had nothing to do with that. Jim Ross isn't the one who helped Stone Cold figure out all that stuff.
According to Google, this is some of his major works. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Mr. McMahon helped shape the edgy Degeneration X faction, which was a direct competitor to NWO.
I'm sure that Triple H and Shawn Michaels' creative on that had nothing to do with any of it.
Yeah, well, here we got the Deadly Games tournament, which was The Rock's corporate heel turn. That's a big moment for The Rock. Joining the corporation did propel him. This one is not good. Merging the Undertaker and Vince McMahon's factions into the corporate ministry. That sucked. That killed the Ministry of Darkness, and I love the Ministry of Darkness. That fucking blew.
That should have gone on a lot longer. That could have been really crazy.
It really should have. And then the corporate ministry, and then they just drop it. It's so bad. And then apparently he did like the Three Faces of Foley. He was like building up that whole, like him switching back and forth. I don't know how accurate any of this is. You seem to think it's not.
I'm pretty sure I've had conversations with Mick Foley about that whole thing, and the Dude Love thing came out of just like those guys watching the old videos of him in elementary school or like in high school making those stupid videos, and they thought it was funny, and Vince saw and thought it was funny. And nothing to do with this Vince. It was the other Vince.
Well, apparently, I guess it's him switching back and forth. Maybe that was his idea. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure he did some good things, bro. He got that job at WCW. And the only reason I'm skeptical is because when the guy got full control, he was doing Viagra on a pole matches and Buff Bagwell's mom on a pole. Everything, just the dumbest stuff.
Yeah. Oh wait, he did Val Venus for versus the Yakuza guys. That was a good one. When they almost chopped his dick off. That was a great one.
Choppy pee-pee.
Oh, and he did Degeneration X versus the Nation. When the Degeneration X wore blackface. I think these are all great. Artist formerly known as Gold Dust. Come on, that was a great one. Anyway, everyone who worked at WCW at that time, who was like a top talent, like the NWO and stuff, they all hate Vince Russo. So of course they're all shitting on him for this. And Hulk Hogan leaves.
To be fair, to be fair, Vince's story is all these rich high place guys' contracts interfered with his creative, and everything was worse because of them. It's a big he said, they said thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's feeling a little bored with his home life. And then he gets asked by Vince McMahon to come back. Because I think at this point, the WCW merger happens while he's not wrestling. And he asks him to come back as Hollywood Hogan to face The Rock. And now I got to switch slides shows here. And we got WrestleMania 18.
The reason why it took so long to get guys like Hogan, Nash, and Hall.
They are guaranteed contracts.
Right, and AOL Time Warner had to pay them. So they could have jumped over to WWE, but they would have made less money than they made sitting at home just collecting that contract. So
yeah, which is why I'm pissed. The guys who did go over sooner all kind of got shit on and like disrespected, like Booker T and stuff. Like, wait, but those guys,
hold on, Booker T's the only one who actually made himself into something in that company.
That's true.
The other guys that got chances, I mean,
was Eddie Guerrero?
Kidman,
Eddie Guerrero was before the merger.
Jumped earlier.
Yeah.
Guerrero, Benoit, Perry Saturn, and Dean Malenko jumped within a year before everything closed down.
Yeah.
And Buff Bagwell came over, had a bad attitude. They got rid of him quick.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Sean Stasiak, gone.
Yeah.
Like they brought in like the mid-carders and they all scrubbed out. And they just brought him in to beat him and get rid of him. And they always knew they had the payday down the road when those contracts expired.
Was DDP pre-merger?
Post. Rey Mysterio is a good point, Pencil Neck. Rey Mysterio is the only other.
Yeah.
Booker T and Rey Mysterio are probably the two who turned out the best out of that deal.
I don't get why like Diamond Dallas Page. Everyone loved Diamond Dallas Page.
Holy shit. Casino Spotlight, another one. Hurricane Helms. Hurricane Helms got himself over. He was in a stupid little boy band thing. But not a lot of those. That DDP got ruined. Completely ruined.
But that was weird. Yeah, they brought him as a heel who was stalking the Undertaker's wife. And then
his ugly wife. It wasn't even his hot wife yet.
Yeah. Is that the one he got the stupid neck tattoo for? But yeah, that was so weird. I'm like, wait, but everyone liked this guy as that character. Why are you bringing him in as a star? It's like they kind of wanted to sabotage a lot of their careers just for solely existing in WCW. Anyway,
well, when you think about I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
I was just gonna say, when you think about what the business is, the business is built on beating other people. So you brought in all your competition, you paid for them, you might as well beat them, make sure guys look bigger and better. That's all.
Yeah. But WrestleMania 18. This is kind of like he's kind of circled back where like he's technically the heel in the event, but the crowd was just so pumped up for a Rock. Rock is the closest you can get to Hulk Hogan at this time when it comes to wrestler who became like this larger. He was starting to. He said it was before movies, but I think this is like as the Rock is starting to do movies. He was already
I don't
doing.
think Scorpion King was out yet.
Mummy Returns probably. When was hold on WrestleMania 18? WrestleMania.
This is Hulk Hogan's best match, in my opinion, by the way, people, in case you care. This was, when you watch this back, you could look at those Madison Square Garden movies all you want to, of people cheering, stuff like that. This crowd, a young Cardiff Electric was in this crowd, by the way. I don't want to
really?
Yeah. He tells me all about it. This is one of the craziest I've ever seen a crowd ever in the history of it.
WrestleMania 18 came out a few months before Mummy Returns. So he had already filmed Mummy Returns, but it hadn't come out yet. So this is like kind of promoted this. What? Oh, sorry. I just saw one of my co-hosts left a super chat because I won't even read co-host pre-chats, Vinny.
Stuff like games says that.
No. We'll talk about doing it at the super chat section.
Right? Well, the Flyers are in the playoffs.
Hold on. I talked over it. Just read it. Just read it again.
Stuff like games. Thanks for the $4.99. You're talking about this jackass while the Flyers are in the playoffs. I hate you.
Trad is just not a real American. All right. She doesn't fight for the rights of every man. Okay. When it comes crashing down, it doesn't hurt inside. All right. For her.
Is Eric Lindros still playing for them?
Anyway, so he's the heel, but the crowd loves it so much that they start to favor him during the match. And like it goes over super well. By the way, that wasn't the main event. I think it was Triple H and Jericho.
Yeah, and Jericho was the undisputed champion at the time.
Yeah. And I think even Jericho was like, I know traditionally the title has to be the last one. He's like, but I wish we didn't follow that match. Because it's just like that should have been like, there's no like I love that he wasn't even like bitter about like them. He's like, no, their match was great. Nothing could have topped it. And then I had to go on afterwards.
You know, I was just listening to some article or some interview with a guy who was on Ed Sullivan after the Beatles. Like that's what you're talking about here. Like it's a bad spot to be in.
It also reminds me of like Stone Cold and Kane's match after the Hell in the Cell with Undertaker and Mankind. It's like, no, we've like, by the way, all those characters come back during that match somehow, but it's just like, man, how do you top that? That's like the most amazing thing that's ever happened. So yeah, Hulk is reborn. Vince is like back to the yellow and red, and we're gonna make this a thing. Cut to
it's so dumb.
It cut to cut to Triple H and everyone saying what you're saying. Meanwhile, Teenage Tony was like, yes, finally, we're back, Hulkamania. And I was all in, buddy. I bought the Hulk Still Rules shirt. I was like, let's do this. It's running wild. No more of that NWO shit. We got Hulkamania 2.0.
Just stupid.
Okay. Cut to the next episode, which is I didn't put the title card, which is Terry versus Hulkster. Surprise cameo by filmmaker Werner Herzog.
I know. And he was very compelling. Had some very interesting questions.
He loves wrestling. He's talked about it in interviews before. He's been like, he talked about like the Linda McMahon being paralyzed. He's like, it's the most amazing storytelling I've ever seen. You could never see anything like this in any other media. And I love he doesn't even know Hulk Hogan's name. He's like, I don't even want to know Hulk Hogan's name. But I'm like, what a surprise.
He loves to believe it. And that's the joy of wrestling. If you could just have fun like that, it's an incredible ride.
By the way, I would have preferred Werner Herzog do this documentary because I like his like Grizzly Man. That's like one of the best documentaries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But so this one we find out he has regrets about his move being a leg drop. And I've heard him say this many, many times. He's like, I had the biggest arms. Why was my move a leg drop? But it completely fucked his spine. And we got the picture.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That his question mark spine.
Yeah.
I mean, when you jump on when you're 300 pounds, whatever they build him at, and you're
Yeah.
all muscle and you're just landing on your tailbone night after night after night after night, that's what happens to your back, people.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, they talk about like the tail end of his Hulkamania 2.0, which hold on. We're going to talk about this. Of course, Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, SummerSlam, where Shawn Michaels oversold every single bump that he got. He's doing flips and stuff. However, that SummerSlam, I believe, was the custody of Dominic ladder match, which I think is the greatest thing ever.
Dude, I told you the story. I found out I had an illegitimate sister during that whole fucking thing. I went to wrestling with my uncle, and they were doing the custody of Dominic Mysterio feud between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. And I found out I had a separate illegitimate sister from my dad's side like a year before that. And I'm talking to my uncle. This is going on. I go, "Hey, did I tell you I found my sister?" And he goes, "Your mom's daughter found the family?"
Oh no!
And like they're in the ring yelling about custody of this kid. And I'm just like, what?
You're like, wait, another one? You're like, one was a lot. There's another one.
That was wild. It was a SmackDown.
Oh yeah, actually, it might have been before this. They skipped over the greatest Hulk Hogan gimmick ever, Mr. America. They skip over that entire thing.
Now, for those of you who don't know what Mr. America was, it was basically Hulk stealing Dusty Rhodes' Midnight Rider bit and trying to do what Stone Cold did with Vince McMahon, have like this rivalry with Hulk Hogan versus Vince. And it was probably the most entertaining thing he did.
It was the funniest goddamn thing he's ever done, because the gimmick was, and they did this recently with Elias when he was his fake brother. The gimmick was that like it was just so obviously Hulk Hogan, and for whatever reason they couldn't prove it. And I got this graphic here. I love when this came out. Who could he be? Mark Henry is one of the suspects.
Is it Mr. Fuji or Doink or Bastard Booger? I don't know.
I thought the Mr. America thing was so funny because like his backstory is like, I was a pencil pusher in Hoboken, New Jersey, and because Hulk was fired at this point after WrestleMania 19, I think. And he's like, and I was just so inspired by Hulk Hogan, I decided to become a wrestler. And they have him like on the lie detector, and he's passing every single thing. And then he starts making fun of Vince does the lie detector, and they keep bringing up embarrassing stuff, and he keeps getting dinged. But then of course they ended it because I think he had to leave at some point, so they showed he got too excited and took his mask off, and then was fired. But yeah, so he ends up ruining Randy Orton's legend killer thing, I think.
I know.
It was Hulk Hogan's to his credit, he didn't know it was his last match, I think. I think they ended up finding out it would be his last wrestling match. Well, in WWE anyway. But yeah, like that would have been a good one for him to go out on. Randy Orton's doing this gimmick where he's killing legends. What better legend to kill than Hulk Hogan? Then it's like, oh, I never got around to killing that legend. I'm like, oh, that kind of ruins the gimmick a little bit.
And by the way, folks, Hulk did not have full creative control the way he used to at this point. So how he got away with this, I still don't know. I still don't know how he got them to go with this, because should have been Randy Orton all day long. Well, I say I'm getting a necromancer right now, and I want to bring Hulk Hogan back, and I want to see him wrestle Gunther. I want Gunther to murder him in the ring.
But yeah, around this time, he was like champion for a bit, and then he dropped it. He didn't hold on to it for a year. No, I'm sorry. This is the era of Triple H just not losing the fucking title, just holding on to it forever.
Yeah.
Which was annoying. They did the same thing with Roman Reigns, although I was glad I was there the day Roman Reigns era ended with that title reign. I'm like, all right, you know what? It pissed me off the year before that Cody should have won, but I'm glad I got to see it live.
You know what's great? WCW or WWE won't make that mistake again.
I haven't been watching like the last year and a half. It just got too hard to keep up with. Like
they made it like 2 Sundays ago. They put the belt on Roman over CM Punk.
Oh, great. I don't like CM Punk either, so I don't really win there. But yeah, so he's got to figure out something to do, Vinny, during this time. Why not start a reality show with your family? And this is the most we hear about Brooke Hogan in this entire thing.
We're going to learn why right now, everyone.
Yeah. So he does the show Hogan Knows Best, and you bet your ass, Vinny, I watched the shit out of this reality show. I was like, yeah.
I really didn't. I didn't really watch this. I didn't give a shit.
Nah, Hulk Hogan reality show. I'm like, I'm all in. This is all real. We got to see Brooke Hogan like learning to sing. She has a beautiful voice. What's your favorite Brooke Hogan song?
Her cover of Hulkster Goes to Heaven.
I'm actually looking up Brooke Hogan songs. Let's see. What do we got here?
I can't imagine.
She has multiple albums. Okay.
Great.
About Us. I think that's a good one. What about Fall? Oh, she has one called Rough Me Up. Oh my God. Hold on. Someone on Google, Rough Me Up, someone added the picture of her with New Jack as the thing. Anyway.
New Jack, another Hall of Famer.
New Jack acted in a short film of mine. He's one of the best actors I ever worked with.
I absolutely believe that. I'm glad you're still alive.
It was real easy. We literally said, when we say action, yell at the bartender until the blonde girl tells you you need to leave and be nice to her. We didn't give him any lines. We just said, no, just come up with it. And he said something new every single time, and he totally nailed it. It was perfect. And I loved New Jack. And I was like friends with him on Facebook for a year. I used to talk to New Jack like all the time. He was incredible. He didn't live too far. I wish I could have done more videos and stuff with him because he's one of my favorite wrestlers, mostly just because of his mic stuff and how insane he was.
That's what Cornette used to say about him.
Yeah.
He said, man, you just hand that guy a microphone, he will cut a fantastic promo.
When we were writing like the short, it was a movie about two bar bouncers who are obsessed with Roadhouse, so they become bar bouncers and they suck at their job. So they have to deal with different characters in the bar, and we were just like, they were all too afraid to confront New Jack.
But he did try to murder two guys.
Yeah, the best part was the bartender that he's yelling at. He kept accusing in the movie, not for real. He kept accusing the bartender of being racist, but the bartender was a light-skinned black guy, so I don't know why he landed on that. He's like, this bar is racist. Where's all the Obama pictures? And then like our black bartender who had no idea who New Jack was has to look at him and be like, why is he ad-libbing this shit?
Well,
anyway, watch the Dark Side of the Ring episode of New Jack. It's great. Yeah.
R.I.P. New Jack.
Yeah. So the show is going on. People are digging it, and then we get some scandals, like Hulk Hogan sleeping with his daughter's best friend. Although he says, "Oh yeah, it was a handler." It was like a chaperone we hired for the documentary, and Brooke Hogan on Bubba the Love Sponge. He's like, no, that was my best friend. That wasn't like a handler or someone they hired. He slept with my best friend.
See, I kind of would believe that Brooke may have been a little young and naive to not realize that this person was a paid employee and not her best friend. But, whatever.
Yeah. And around this time, they file for divorce.
Well, in the documentary, she claims that the housekeeper found an earring that wasn't hers in their bed, and that's a big fucking deal. Terry, you could afford a hotel, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, they file for divorce, and this divorce gets ugly. Because Brooke ends up hooking up with her son's friend,
Linda.
Sorry, yes, Linda. Linda starts hooking up with her son's friend, who she thought was 25, but was actually 19. And Linda, this was fucked. So Hulk Hogan has a penthouse apartment overlooking his house, and Linda made this young kid get in Hulk Hogan's speedboat, drive to where Hulk Hogan can see him in front of his house, and light up a joint and just drive around with his ex-wife. And I'm like,
it would just be sitting there fucking blowing the guy on the boat and like waving at him.
And I'm like, this is really fucked. And look, if I was losing millions of dollars and my wife was saying that, I might say some things on camera when I don't know I'm being recorded. I don't know. I wouldn't be in the best headspace, Vinny.
Well, Hulk said a lot of things that he shouldn't have said on camera, but one of them was, I get why O.J. Simpson killed his ex. And they ran to the newspapers with that.
I need to ask you. Well, I don't understand why he would compare himself to an innocent man when,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I like, what does he mean by go OJ Simpson? Like, steal his memorabilia back? Like, look, OJ
No,
went to jail
he
for that.
he means chop off that 19-year-old's head and murder Linda in
Well,
the
what does that have to do with OJ Simpson, who was innocent?
well, a lot of people don't think he was.
What? I
I'm
don't understand. Now,
I
you know
hate to
what?
I hate to break it to you.
Now that choke in the new Naked Gun makes a little bit more sense. I didn't understand that I thought we were all in the same thing. They
Now
ruled
now
him
let me ask you
innocent.
this. Do you get all of Norm Macdonald's jokes now?
They are those are the only jokes I never really got, but they're starting to make sense. I don't know. I don't know why people would think that he was found innocent. Anyway, yeah, that was my. I understand OJ Simpson. It's like
He did write a book called "If I Did It, Here's How."
I don't
That
think
didn't-
he actually wrote. I think there was a whole thing. One day I'll talk about. I actually have an OJ Simpson tape where he's interviewed by Michael Jordan. Obviously, it was done in the early 90s. I want to watch that one day. Anyway, by the way, this part, there are only 2 mentions of his second wife. He mentions later on that he got divorced, and this newspaper, it says Hulk Hogan's girlfriend, Jennifer McDaniel, was in the divorce battle, like in the court. They completely, they almost completely removed his second wife from everything. Like, they only brought her up to establish his third wife. And according to Brooke, they're like, no, me and Jennifer were taking him to all of his surgeries and stuff. And apparently the start of their relationship was when the Bubba the Love Sponge sex tape came out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he was married to her when that happened, did he? Was he married to the second wife during
He
that?
ended up marrying her like around that time, like after
Right.
the divorce,
After.
obviously. But he was with her during the trial and everything. Then he married her, and they just don't mention anything from that time period. I also think they don't mention Nick Hogan's car accident where he permanently injured his friend.
No.
Do they even mention that he had some legal troubles or drug problems?
I did not hear that mentioned once, but Nick is the only thing I mentioned with Nick is that he loved his dad very much. And that's why he called him when he got that DUI.
Yep, where he permanently injured his best friend, who I think has to be in like a nursing thing for the rest of his life, right?
The guy was a Marine. He was literally like a soldier, and the guy was like paralyzed, and he's all messed up.
And again, the everyone likes to harp on the racism thing. When I listened to your guys' episode and you played the prison phone calls where they were justifying it, I'm like, no, that's fucked. I'm like,
To make this little boy feel better, Hulk was going, no, that kid wasn't an angel either. He was out there doing some stuff, and
he didn't wear a seatbelt. It's like, no, this is fucked, Hogan. This is really fucked. Oh, you can't permanently cripple a guy and try to you were kind of the fault. Anyway, divorce ends. He's back in TNA at this point. Kind of like when Ric Flair didn't save his money really well and also had to go to TNA.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm the worst. I interrupt you way too much, Tony.
That's fine. I'm famous for interrupting people, so I'm getting a taste of my own medicine.
I'm just trying to pick up the dynamic here. We don't do enough shows together, bud.
We really
Ric
should do more. We're just very busy.
Ric Flair had a podcast for a while called Woo Nation, and he had Hulk on, and they were talking about this time. And the way Rick started it was one of the most pitiful things I've ever heard him say. He was like, and let me tell you something, brother. Real friends, real family, they're there for you. And there were times when I needed help, I needed money, and Hulkster was always there for me. It's like, okay, that's how he got in TNA. Hulkster helps you. Okay.
So yeah, he's there, and he is wrestling, but he really shouldn't be around this time.
You saw his spine, right, everybody?
Yeah. And he's got like 12 back surgeries. And according to Brooke and his second wife, Jennifer, they eventually told him, like, stop getting the surgeries. Like, you're getting older. You can't really handle these. But yeah, what they left out was that he got rid of the 6-sided ring in TNA, which was kind of the thing that made it unique. However, all fans like to complain about that. I remember going to a TNA show in 2006 and it was awesome. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is way cooler than WWE. People are getting like it was stuff that you would have to wait months for a pay-per-view to see on WWE.
The X
However,
division is really cool.
yeah. However, most of the wrestlers, I think like AJ Styles was like, yeah, we were kind of glad. We were kind of glad that they got rid of the 6-sided ring because everyone trained on a 4-sided ring. So the 6th one was really fucking everyone up.
Right. It was also a lot harder, they said.
Yeah.
So that probably wasn't great for everybody.
Mm. So at this point, the sex tape leaks. Do you remember how did Bubba film them without them knowing?
So Bubba's story on it, from the best I can figure out, is that he had all these security cameras in his house, and they just picked it up. He was just like, "Hey, Hulk, you're having a bad day. Why don't you go and fuck my wife over in the bedroom?" And
Bubba's
somehow,
sponge, I call him.
Somehow the security camera came on.
But if I remember right, there's video of him making a joke like while it's happening.
Yep. Where he says, man, I could retire off of this or something like that, about how much money he can make from it. And then his claim is that a guy who worked for him is the one who leaked and released it.
Leaked and released it. Yeah. That's why I saw him with like Brooke and stuff. And I'm like, man, you kind of fucked up. In that the video with Brooke, he's like, and then I became the bad guy. It's like, well, you recorded the dude. Like
you banged your daughter's best friend, ruined your marriage.
Yeah.
Estranged yourself from your whole family. You have made yourself a burden on everyone physically. They can't handle taking care of you all the time. You are emotionally isolating yourself from people and being kind of a dick is what everybody says. He was kind of a dick to his family.
Yeah.
And and he's going back to the ring for more wrestling. Everybody had to love that if you were in his family.
But then Gawker leaked the tape. Who knows how they got it? Maybe that guy. They leaked the tape, which is like a private tape. Like that did like violate his privacy and stuff. And they get this lawyer who he really needs to get a bigger suit. That one doesn't fit anymore. And credit to the filmmakers just leaving in his voice warm-ups during this. New Zealand. He just kept saying New Zealand over and over again. But yeah, he defended him in the trial and Hulk Hogan won. He killed Gawker. They tried to bring it back and it did not last. So that was a win.
Yeah, that was that. He was out of TNA at that point, I believe.
I think so,
and he was back on a Legends deal with WWE. So he was
he was, because they had to fire. They mentioned they had to fire him. Triple H had to fire him because he was like on Tough Enough. He was like one of the judges or something on that.
He was doing some stuff. Like they keep these guys around on payroll and they make them show up when they need them or whatever, and they license their likeness for toys and t-shirts and shit. So they find a way to profit off all these old guys. And they were like, oh yeah, man, because part of this was the sex tape got released, but then after the sex tape got released, phone calls that were recorded also got released during the what would you call it, discovery during the lawsuit. And in one of them, Hulk is being disparaging of an African-American guy that Brooke was dating or going out with, calling him the N-word. And that's when WWE was like, we don't care that you're banging Bubba's wife. It was like, no, you cannot say the N-word. And you got to go, bro.
I'm trying to find New Jack's famous tweet. But like a censored version of New Jack's famous. Yeah, good, I found a censored version. Hold on. So when that story broke, New Jack felt the need to comment on it.
I remember.
And I have it here. Yeah, there was New Jack's comment on the situation. Hulk Hogan, I'm that bleep. Picture of New Jack with Brooke Hogan.
New Jack.
I laughed so hard because I think I was friends with him on Facebook at that point. I laughed so hard the day he did that post. I was like, no.
Well, you got to remember, everybody, all the wrestlers hated Hulk. You know, he burnt bridges with all these guys. He ran roughshod over everybody every time he came back. They all just hated him. So, like, it was kind of fun for them to watch him fall from grace.
Yeah. Well, New Jack, I don't think New Jack ever wrestled in a promotion with Hulk Hogan. I know New Jack was in TNA, but was he there when Hulk Hogan was there?
Oh, I doubt that.
Yeah. I think he just didn't like
Maybe,
Hulk Hogan.
You know what? Maybe they were. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe they were. I'll have to go back and look that up. But now
I know New Jack also had some things to say about Jerry Lawler because of Jerry Lawler's relationships in the past with someone who might have been a little too young. But anyway, back to this one. Triple H had to fire Hogan. The whole world is turning on Hogan. And then he finds the third love of his life. He literally goes, so I was going through my second divorce. And if you weren't paying attention, you'd be like, if you didn't know who Hulk Hogan was, you're watching this, you're like, hold on.
Yada, 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 second divorce. And then I met this one.
Second divorce. This isn't like a movie where you're framing a narrative and like the true story is just like, no, this is a documentary. You have to like, that's kind of like a big thing you should at least address and not brush over so much.
Right.
But he meets his third wife, Sky Daly Hogan. She gets him into Christianity and trying to fix his image. And this is what he starts doing his I wish I could have went to a karaoke night with Hulk Hogan. That would have been awesome.
One of my favorite things we pointed out, one of my just enjoyed when we covered Hulk on the Creep Off was his appearance on the 700 Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Pat Robertson was dead at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes on this very Christian, traditional religious show. And they start off showing video of him at a church with his arms up.
Mm.
Then they show him being baptized. And the quote was, and I want to get it right, was, and then Hulk surrendered himself to the Lord. And he was baptized at this church right down the street from his Clearwater gift shop. And then it turned into just a panning shot of that store. And like his Hulk Loves Jesus t-shirts or whatever Christian merch he got. They got like a nice shot of all the displays.
Yeah.
And you know, we also watched when Nick, he was married to this one when Nick got the DUI.
Mm.
And this was after the first incident. He got a second DUI and Hulk showed up with a big old beard and a walking stick.
Yeah.
And he starts talking to the cop and he's like, listen, brother, I got to tell you, man, was Nick drinking? And he's like, yeah, he was, Hulk. And he's like, oh, every problem I've ever had in my life all leads back to alcohol. 2 months later, real American beer. He found Jesus. His kids get DUIs. It's time for the beer company.
I will say, Undertaker, when Undertaker retired and started doing interviews, I think people forget the first like big interview he did was like with a guy from his church. But Undertaker had been like a Christian for like years before he let anyone know about it because his wife is very Christian. But like that was like kind of like behind the scenes until Undertaker started doing these interviews post retirement. And then Hulk Hogan becomes a Christian. He's like, I love Jesus, brother. He's like all in on it. And I'm like, okay, it doesn't seem organic when you're like talking about it a lot. Like the Undertaker brought it up because he had to.
Sure, but again, Hogan found Jesus, very publicly goes through all this stuff, and then he starts his beer company.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
It's so stupid. And then he decides, I mean, obviously we all assumed he was probably voting for Trump. They were friends and everything.
Sure.
But he was like, I didn't quite, I don't want to mix It was funny him being like, I didn't want to mix politics. I'm like, what about when you were fighting Iran? Like in the ring? Like that was pretty political, I guess.
You ran for president.
You were trying to run for president. Do you forget earlier in the last episode you were trying to run for president, but you were afraid you would win, so you stopped before we forgot to mention that. He said he stopped because he was afraid he would win.
I just couldn't handle that type of pressure, brother.
But apparently the assassination attempt, that was just too much. That didn't work for him, brother. Hulk Hogan had to make a statement, and he went up on stage. And I'm sure a lot of people in the chat are mad that I'm even showing a picture of this. And he helped save America. That's what you said when this happened, Vinny, you texted me. You're like, he's saving America, brother. And I'm like, Vinny, stop. Stop messaging
Tony,
me all your life.
I am going to put you in a chokehold until you shit your pants if you tell people I said that again.
Yeah, you did.
Nope. Now it's coming, buddy.
And I was confused. I was watching this on the gym at mute, and I thought he was running for president. So I wrote him in, and I was very, very disappointed when I realized he was actually not on any ballot.
I wrote in Vince McMahon the last time, personally. This was so stunning, and it was just such a circus, and it was disappointing. Everything about it was just so stupid.
Yeah. What are you even talking about? I thought it was super patriotic, you asshole.
Oh, did you?
I know someone who was there, and I can't say who it was because they'll kill me. But I know someone who's got to see this magic happen live. They also got to see Tony Hinchcliffe's Puerto Rico joke fail live. That was an amazing day.
That's pretty fun.
So of course they do Monday Night Raw on Netflix in Los Angeles, one of the bluest state ever. And
I was yelling boo earns.
Just booed by everyone. And everyone, by the way, people think this is an own, but I like Hogan. They're like, did that upset you? He was like, no, I got a great reaction. Like even if it was not like cheers, like the fact that he got that big of a reaction,
Tony, it wasn't.
He means a lot to people, whether they love or hate him. They either really love or really hate him. There's no just like, oh, that guy. No, they were like, no, I hate him so much. I gotta boo.
That's not cope at all. They were chanting, fuck you, Hogan.
Yeah.
They were not booing. They were like, we hate you. Leave.
I thought man,
that was. I've never seen someone treated like that at a wrestling show, like a WWE wrestling show. You know what I mean? Like that was wild.
What would you, if you can't get cheers, would you rather have the most insane, loud boos and insults ever, or a quiet crowd? What would you prefer?
I'd prefer the boos, but
yeah, see.
But Jimmy Hart, right before Hogan gives that little speech about how it didn't bother me, brother, Jimmy goes, yeah, he was bothered by it. Like Jimmy laid out says before they go to the clip of him going, no, it didn't bother me at all, dude. It was great. Yeah, it's just cope.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think people just need to get over it, okay? Hulk Hogan, he made some mistakes, but he's loved by all. You know, when he died, I was worried reviewing Hulk Hogan stuff would get me in trouble. And I got Manny Muskets to leave me a voicemail saying it was okay to talk about Hulk Hogan because apparently Hulk Hogan taught Manny his favorite word, but then the voicemail cut out. So I don't know what that word was. Anyway,
the Ultimate Warrior taught me my favorite. It's Destrucity.
Destrucity. So they end their interview with Hogan. And I assumed this was going to go on longer. They were going to do another round of interviews with him. But 3 months later, he died. Now, there's like debates. It was cardiac arrest, I think. But Brooke Hogan on the Bubba Love Sponge thing, she's basically like, he didn't need that neck surgery that he got. Like, she thinks like the last two surgeries weren't really needed. And there might have been some complications with that. But they don't, like, I think his wife has the autopsy and it's not released publicly. So her and Bubba, and who knows, her and Bubba could also be assholes. I don't know. They could just be bitter. But
one thing I can tell you, and not to make this sad or about me or anything, but my dad died in 2003 of a heart attack 3 days after having surgery.
Yeah.
Because he broke his wrist. And after you have surgery when you're an older person, your immune system gets a little weaker. A lot of things, are affected, not just, your wrist hurts or whatever, your back hurts. It's all sorts of things can happen inside of your body. And I think it was complications. Like his body just couldn't handle that shit. Yeah. They talked about what they were giving him as a prescription.
Yeah. Although Brooke says he wasn't on that at this time. That was like a previous surgery. But yeah, he was having like fentanyl in his nose, on his legs, and he had like fentanyl lollipops.
They were giving him fentanyl lollipops he was sucking on. He was putting it like between his gums. He had fentanyl patches. And he goes, yeah, the people at the pharmacy are like, nobody should be alive with what you're on.
Well, Brooke learned that like the doctor and the surgeon both prescribed him like the same thing, so he got like double prescribed and was taking too much. But she talked about how her and his second wife had to like wait for him to kind of crash out and go to sleep, and they had to like go in and like remove all of the pills and replace it with like aspirin and stuff. So yeah, he was treating himself with all these pills and then taking 300 milligram like edibles on top of that.
He went wild that day.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Hey, hi, Stoneman623. It's one of my favorite viewers in the world. He's watching. Hey, buddy.
Don't read his goddamn chat. Anyway.
He said Benny's dad dies from wrist surgery and stuttering John is still alive.
How'd that happen?
He had a heart attack after the surgery. It wasn't the same thing.
No, I mean, how did Stuttering John survive that? So we get to see like how like WWE was handling the death, and you have that video of Triple H just being like, we're gonna have everyone out and do a 10-bell salute.
Mm-hmm.
If no one wants to be present, we will understand.
No big deal.
So all of these people are awful racists, Vinny. Every single person on there. Who's that? Selena Vega, racist.
I see one of the Usos heads back there.
Yeah, Usos, super racist. Who else is on? Alistair Black, racist. He probably
Cody Rhodes. How dare Cody Rhodes?
Dare Cody Rhodes? How dare he?
I really liked Cody's takes on stuff.
Yeah, no, Cody's great. I love listening to Cody. And
I'm a big fan of Cody. I think he's a very smart guy.
I am too. I really like that first like year or two of AEW. Cody was kind of annoying at some point, but it could have worked, and then he decided to jump ship instead.
He left because Tony Khan's a fucking maniac, and he's like, this company's never gonna work. Bye.
Yeah. I worked with Cody Rhodes for one day in 2015. We tried to film a prank video with him and the guy I used to work with, Ed Bassmaster, and it did not work.
I'm going to see that this weekend.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. I'm going to say hello to him for you.
Yeah, sure. I haven't seen him. I talked to him like a few years ago. We were catching up a little bit. Yeah, we tried to film with Cody Rhodes and do like a prank thing in Harrisburg, but it was like raining, so there were no people to prank. We eventually uploaded it as like, hey, here's a prank video that failed. But I wasn't watching wrestling at that point. It was in between watching, so I didn't really know him too well. And I was more excited when I was just like, wait, you're Goldust, brother? I'm like, I love Goldust. When he was teaming up with Blue Meanie, not knowing the guy I'm talking to is going to be like one of the biggest wrestlers ever.
Dude, he's like, well, they call me Stardust.
It was before Stardust. I think it was before Stardust. But yeah, he was a really nice guy. I actually really enjoyed talking to him.
I've hung out with Cody a couple of times, and I have to say, he is a completely just a chill, nice man. Just a nice guy.
Yeah, and that's the end of the documentary. And again, Brooke came out.
It is not Tony.
What was the very end?
How did you miss the craziest part of all of it? Was the clips from the funeral, Tony.
Oh, wait, did I not include that?
Failure. You failure. Listen.
Oh my God, that was supposed to be the last picture in the slide, and I didn't put it in.
Number one, Brutus the Barber Beefcake looks like a creature. And he's one of the first people you see. He's swollen as shit, and he's like, I
got my picture with him a few years ago, and he looks completely different.
Dude, Dennis Rodman's there in a t-shirt and a Bulls hat backwards.
NWO shirt, I think, right?
They show that Triple H spoke at the service. And then the biggest surprise of all of them, Vince! Pepe Le Pew looking Vince shows up and gives part of the eulogy. And Vince is up there doing Hulk's moves during the funeral. He's on the stage going, I mean, who let that happen? How do you get that at the funeral?
Vinny, at my funeral, I wish that you would come up there and act like me. I want you to sit at a counter and talk about Batman movies.
I'm Tony. I'm great. Hey, one time someone held a sign with my face up. I'm
Wait,
Tony.
wait, wait. Why am I southern and slow? What the fuck is that impression?
South of Rochester, bitch.
But yeah, he said Hulk Hogan was great, and at the end of every one of his matches, people would give a standing ovation. I think we should do a standing ovation right now. Let's all stand. Let's all stand for Hulk Hogan. Okay. Vinny, why are you not standing?
Oh, because you said it was for Hulk Hogan.
You son of a bitch. I bet you everyone in the chat are standing at their computer screens right now or in front of their TVs or their cell phones. Someone's watching in church right now where you're supposed to be kneeling and they're standing for Hulk Hogan.
Vince is telling people to applaud the corpse. Let's all give it one more round of applause, everybody.
That's another thing. I need you to ask everyone to applaud my corpse. I don't know why you're going to outlive me and be at my funeral, but I really want all this to happen.
I'll outlive you. Trust me. I'm making it a point.
I want to be taxidermy to look exactly like I do on my shirt with my face that I sell. I want to be like that. It's going to be great. Look, the documentary, if you didn't know a lot about his wrestling, I guess it is slightly informative. It does leave out big chunks. Like, I don't know how you leave out the mega powers. That was ridiculous.
There's a guy that I work with here at Comedy at the Carlson in Rochester, New York, the greatest comedy club in the world. One of my coworkers doesn't know anything about Hulk Hogan, Tony, and he watched it and he was like, I thought it was great and interested. It's like,
I kind of wish I didn't listen to your goddamn episodes about Hulk Hogan. I think I would have appreciated it a little bit more. But now I had to keep thinking of all the terrible things that they didn't bring up. And I'm like, damn it.
For lack of a better term, it's kind of a whitewash.
Kind of. I think it really was made to fix his image, and then he died. So they were kind of like, well, can't really be too mean toward the end of this. We should probably make it a little bit nicer now that this is a tribute of sorts.
I really thought it was a depressing opening to the movie when the first thing they show is that casket. It's like when you watch a TV show and like the main character dies in the first like couple seconds and you figure out how did we get here?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's okay. I guess if you didn't keep up with Hulk Hogan, it'd be an interesting watch. But yeah, I just think it leaves too much out. And it bounces to, like you said, it goes timeline. If you know the timeline, it's back and forth constantly.
Yeah.
Like I said, the movies are out of order, really. Thunder in Paradise at WCW, you said, was out of order. Again, how do you skip over Mr. America, the greatest gimmick he ever had?
The whole story of how Bischoff hired him was just wrong. Like, I've even had Bischoff tell the story, and it's completely different than what was in the documentary. So, I don't know.
I do still, like I said, I haven't really been keeping up with wrestling lately, but I still pop into Eric Bischoff's YouTube channel once in a while. And I popped in recently. He was interviewing the guy who they were talking about, it was all about Glacier, and they were interviewing the special effects makeup artists and stuff who made the Glacier outfit. And I'm like, this is awesome. I thought Glacier was going to be the biggest thing as a kid, and it was not. I was hoping, by the way, one of the biggest things in WCW, or at least from my memory, was Hulk versus the Giant, Paul White, the son of the Giant. I thought that was a really good feud. Remember the monster truck match?
How about when they threw the guy over the thing and he came back? They threw the giant.
I think that was after the monster truck match. I think that was the same night. It was awesome. They could have talked about the coalition to end Hulkamania, where the one guy had to have his name changed because his name was the Final Solution, and then they got a bunch of angry letters and they went, "Oh no, we got to change his name. We got to change his name." Who was that guy?
Changed to Adolf Hitler.
That actor was Bane in Batman and Robin. I'm trying to remember what his wrestling name was.
What about the Dungeon of Doom? Do you remember the Dungeon of Doom?
Yeah, Jeep Swenson. Jeep Swenson was the wrestler.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, Dungeon of Doom was cool. Yeah, they kind of just, I don't know. I wish they would have like focused on a lot more things. I wish it was longer, honestly. That's another thing. It feels like they're trying to condense it all down. Maybe it was meant to be one movie and then they decided to make it into a series. I don't know. I don't know. But
they made it a series. It would have been better if they had just let it play, but whatever.
Yeah.
I think I could have handled it the whole thing.
But Vinny, before we actually let's do super chats. Let's see here. Simon Lou Lorgus, a member for 43 months. Keep up
That's
the amazing
incredible.
job, Tony. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, and then he gifted 10 Hack the Movies memberships. Thank you so much. All you new members, watch everything that we have available. Ryan Powell, Hulk Hogan for $5. Hulk Hogan was a hero. He got the Gremlins to play the film again. He did do that.
He was very upset that they were there when they told him.
Yeah. I mean, can you at least thank Hulk Hogan for making sure Gremlins 2 was able to be finished?
No.
Wow, fuck you. Gremlins 2 is good. Matthew Snyder for $2. Tony, bring back Pastamania. That was the thing he was doing, Pastamania. No, Tony needs less Pastamania. Tony had a little too much Pastamania the last few months.
That's one of the best Hulk Hogan stories, Pastamania, how that happened.
Yeah.
Because he was supposed to have the Foreman grill.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to be his thing. It was going to be the Hulk Hogan grill.
Now, is this a real thing or is this a Hulk Hogan story?
This is a Hulk Hogan story.
There we
go. He missed the phone call, and then the next guy in the Rolodex was George Foreman, and George was like, sure, I'll do it. And Hulk, by the time he called back, they had a deal with George Foreman. So he decided to start a pasta restaurant in the Mall of America. It's good stuff.
Hey, I had the George Foreman grill. That thing was good.
It was great until it chipped off into your burger. It just had pieces of
yeah.
Whatever the non-stick coating was on that thing is just like attached to your burger.
Awesome. Yeah, it didn't last too long, but I did enjoy it. Dude Abides, member for 25 months. 25 months, brother. Whoa. Thank you so much. And then Draven Effect 23 for $1 Looney Tunes communist European dollar. I'm guessing this was an image or something. I'll look that up.
Just kindness to you.
Was it? Hold on. Supers and gifts. Can I see a picture of it? Just making sure. I want to make sure.
Check your box.
No, it just is empty. Okay. Thank you. And then he came back for 10 Looney Tunes dollars. Tony, I loved you in The Dark Knight Rises. This is Vinny. This is actually the bandana I wore in the stadium for The Dark Knight Rises. This is film history. I only whip it out on special occasions, and Hulkamania is a special occasion. I wish they just realized that you were secretly playing the Riddler and doing the most important thing, watching the sports game. I will confirm it here. I was the Riddler in The Dark Knight Rises, and I was attending the football game. Well, you already read this one. Fuck you, Johanna. Emoji Matt for $4.99. Hello, Tony. Hulk Hogan was an icon. Terry Bollea was a butt. You need to review Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Also, you are my spirit animal. Well, two things. One, I reviewed Mortal Kombat Annihilation on Cinemassacre years ago. It's one of my favorite reviews I did on there. And two, tomorrow you will be getting a commentary track with me and Adam Does Movies for Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So you'll get to hear an hour and 35 minutes of me talking about that wonderful piece of cinema. Vinny, before we get any more chats in, what do you got going on? Where can we follow you?
My friend, I would love it if you folks would visit thecreepoff.com, where you could find the internet's only true crime contest podcast, where Carl from Who Are These Podcasts and I go head to head every week and find out who is the biggest creep in any given category. We have a lot of fun over there. And if you like true crime stuff and you're not into pearl clutching, you might enjoy the show. Love to have it.
And if they want to hear your Hulk Hogan special episodes,
now those are behind the paywall. Those are at patreon.com/thecreepoff. That's where you find that. And that's also where you could go and put in a vote for your pal Vinny every week.
Yes. And you did so he was in your Creep Off Hall of Fame, right?
Yes, sir.
And I believe Vince McMahon is also in the Creep Off Hall of Fame.
As well as New Jack. Yes.
You wait, hold on. I didn't realize you put New Jack in there. I
sure did last year. New Jack tried to murder 3 people in the ring, bro. He stabbed Gypsy Joe. He the mass transit incident, and then he tried
that mass transit shouldn't have been there in the first place. His dad lied about his age. New Jack
doesn't mean he didn't try to fucking murder a child. And then he threw the other guy off that thing to try to kill him. So he tried to kill 3 people in the ring.
No, New Jack had great aim. You just didn't trust. You didn't believe in his ability. And Gypsy
Well, it
Joe,
wasn't great because the guy landed on the ropes and almost.
yeah, but he didn't land on the ground. And Gypsy Joe, I'm sorry, that's one of the funniest goddamn things I've ever seen. New Jack.
Nobody said it wasn't. Nobody said it wasn't.
I actually, after this, I might watch the Gypsy Joe match and then the interview of New Jack talking about the Gypsy Joe match. Yeah. Dude, those interviews he did like interviews with the Iron Sheik in like hotel rooms and they're just screaming. I fucking love them so much.
Yeah, New Jack was a real talent. So we had a lot of fun with Wrestling Creeps. We had an episode where we covered Ric Flair's nonsense. We put Hulk in. Right now, we actually just did a show at Hulkamania live. And a big segment of it was Kaylee from this very channel.
Oh, yeah.
Lucy Tightbox came on, and she helped us go through the new additions to the Vince McMahon lawsuit from Janelle Grant, all about Brock Lesnar.
Ooh.
So we had my good pal Anthony Cumia on, and Lucy and Kaylee and Carl, and we had a good old time reading the texts and learning all about what Vince was up to. That one's on our last live episode from Vegas. You could watch that right now if you wanted.
Does Anthony Cumia have any opinions on Hulk Hogan? Does he share any of his opinions on anything?
I have a feeling Cumia is a Hulkamaniac through and through, brother.
Thanks to Anthony Cumia, I get to see 2 different people I'm friends with fight with each other. It's great. But we'll not talk about that. But yes, follow Vinny. He's hilarious. I want to get you on this show more, brother. I'll hold that Mr. Nanny review for you. I haven't reviewed Mr. Nanny yet.
I watched Santa with Muscles.
I did that with Andy. I did that with Trucker Andy.
That's one of the worst movies ever made, and I don't think I could handle Mr. Nanny after that.
No, I will say Mr. Nanny is, not that this is a hard thing to do, Mr. Nanny is definitely better than Santa with Muscles. I recommend it. And a guy might have murdered a dog in the beginning of that movie, and people didn't find out till decades later. See, now you want to talk about Mr. Nanny. You want to know more about that story, don't you?
Well, the dog was supposed to be watching the kids.
No, I'll explain it when we review Mr. Nanny, which we will do.
Oh, the guy who threw the dog in the I know exactly what you're talking about.
And people didn't notice till years later. They're like, wait, why is that guy throwing it? My headcanon is that guy who's trying to murder his girlfriend's dog. He's like, no one will ever know it's me. And then he's like, wait, what were all those cameras? But yeah, check all that out. Like, share, subscribe, become a patron, channel member. Follow me on Twitter and whatnot. And tomorrow night we will be doing the April 2026 wrap up. We'll be talking about some new releases. I got to schedule that too. And yeah, that's it from us. Goodbye, everyone.
One more plug.
Oh, yeah.
I'm filming for Vito on Biggest Problem tomorrow night, so tune into that.
Vinny, I'm glad you mentioned that. My New Year's resolution was to not talk about or acknowledge Vito Gesualdi unless I have to tell people that I can't talk about or acknowledge Vito Gesualdi. Because, of course, last year's Hulkamania, he got mad at Riley and then threatened to leak a film script that I never even actually sent him to Reddit. He did like an Italian Guido style threat where he was like, it would be he was like, how would you like it if I leaked this? So it wasn't technically a threat, but it's technically a threat. So this will actually be the first Biggest Problem I watch all year just because you're on it without him.
Thanks, buddy.
I'll watch it.
Give you a nice shout out. I'll give you a shout out. Can I leave?
Actually,
now?
It might be happening the same time as my show, but I will tune in at some point.
All right. I'm out of here. Bye.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Night, everybody. Have a great time. Enjoy.